I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call it quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, seal my greed. That's how I get it, success ain't no giving. Some days I don't hit, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous, down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank, I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze, the roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag, I know that's because I've been in it, I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math, I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, I ain't perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous, cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house and whoo. Watch out, get ahead, watch out, get ahead, watch out, get ahead. Woo. Watch out, set it up, bet you I shut it down, watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner, got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you can pay. I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call it quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out.
Hey yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted, and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the Birks, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. About my chicken and its rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition, they ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing yet. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders. was in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand, yeah. I got the team by my side, right hand, yeah. Take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that, yeah. And it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we finally got that ETF approval, guys. The website is broken. I believe they actually removed the document from the website, but our boy Tony D grabbed it and downloaded it before they took it down. So we're going to be taking a look at that, guys. Obviously, we did see a little bit of a move to the downside, a lot of crazy volatility, at least on the lower time frames. Was stuck in the middle of that a little bit earlier today. But we're going to be covering the price action, guys, with this monumental news coming out with the spot Bitcoin ETFs being approved, as long as it wasn't another hack or something, which who knows. We are going to be taking a look at this crazy price action, guys. What does this mean for Bitcoin? This is obviously massively bullish for the long term, not only for Bitcoin, but all of crypto. And this is exciting, guys. I did not think that our live stream talking about an approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF would be happening this soon. I mean, recently I expected this to happen soon, but never, like, a year ago, if you told me we were going to be doing this, I probably would have been like, not going to happen that quickly. But here we are with the ETFs approved. So what is going on, CandleMafia? Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure, where we're going to give away all of my money. So smash that like button. If we get 1,000 likes on today's stream, guys, I will give $500 in ADA to one lucky CandleMafia member. So smash up that like button, guys. 1,000 likes is the goal, and we got a lot to look at here. Are we going to wind up seeing this Bitcoin spot ETF turn into a sell the news event? This is what everybody wants to know. Or are we going to see some kind of a crazy God candle? And judging by the poll, it seems that 62% of people say God candle incoming and 38% say it's all a scam. So with that being said, we're going to be taking a look at that Bitcoin price action, guys, and kind of the likelihood of this being a sell the news event, or if we are going to get that massive move to the upside. And if we do get that giant move down or that giant move up, what levels we need to be looking for, and what confirmations should we be watching to either look for longs or look for shorts, so we can make money going in either direction. So before we jump into it, guys, let's say what's up to the Candle Mafia. I see you guys going nuts in chat already. Shout out to Walking Dead X. What is going on, bro? Said, we did it, Frankie. We made it. I wish I could play copyrighted music on the channel, guys, or I'd be playing like a bunch of anthems right now. But shout out to you, bro. Thank you for tuning in. We got Hamal in the chat. We got Caesar. What is going on? We got Bad Axe. As always, good to see you, bro. Shout out to, oh God, it's going too fast. Shout out to Jessica, our female CandleMafia representative. Crypto Pollo with the new avatar. What is going on, bro? Looking good. Shout out to Crypto Naughty in the chat. We got Medic Money, DSV, Amanda, Anna Maria. I don't know why I read that as Amanda. We got Reza in the chat. We got Creighton C, as always, Blockchain Domain. Anthony Fugolini, what is going on, bro? My paisan, welcome in. Thank you for being here. We got Jacko24. We got George. We got Sunny Vest. And then we got the Jaquad family. What is going on? Coming in here, flexing that check mark on us. I like it. It's motivation. We will have one of those as well somewhat soon. Shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Smash that like button. We got Johnny Two Pockets in the chat. What is going on, bro? He goes, hey, Frankie, what's going on? But, guys, we got a lot of saucy price action to take a look at. So let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. So, guys, here we are, right? Respect the pump, Gavin says. Yes, absolutely respect the pump. Or lack thereof, guys. I know a lot of people are probably a little bit confused here, wondering, hey, Bitcoin ETF approved. What's with this? Right? Why did we get a 3% pump only to get a retracement and potentially another move up here? And we're going to talk about the local price action if I think we can come higher. But guys, coming down to these low time frames, I was in with the premium Discord earlier today, and this, or not earlier today, like this was like not that long ago. But guys, these wicks are all over the place. Massive moves down, massive moves up, or not massive, really. Kind of lackluster price action. Honestly, for ETF news, it's not that exciting of price action, which is interesting. Is it because we are going to see this turn into a sell the news event? And I do think it is somewhat possible because of what this price action looks like up here. Now, it's not a guarantee that we're just going to come down from where we're at. However, we did come up here, guys, and we took out a lot of liquidity above these highs. And once again, this just goes to show us that we don't necessarily need to be paying too much attention to the news. Obviously, with high impact news like a Bitcoin spot ETF being approved, this is something you want to pay attention to. I actually oftentimes encourage people not to trade on these days just because even if you wind up being right on your original prediction, right? You think it's going to go up. You may be right on that. However, you know, you're likely going to get chopped up in some crazy price action, right? Because you get these big wicks to the upside and the downside. So even if you're right, sometimes you could wind up getting wrecked. So I always recommend, unless you're like super experienced or understand that you need to manage your risk very tightly, this is basically, you know, I just recommend people stay away from the high impact news because it creates all this volatility. Shout out to Golden. Let's go. I forgot to shout him out before, guys. Before the stream even started, Golden gifted 100 Frankie Candles memberships. You absolute legend. How do you do it? Just gifting everything to the Candle Mafia. Shout out to Golden. Thank you so much, bro. You are literally our biggest sponsor here on the channel, making sure all the Candle Mafia members have their memberships. So shout out to you, bro. And guys, show some love to our mods in chat. I just saw D Petty Crypto pop up, and we are early, about an hour. We are live about an hour early, guys. So that is obviously just because of the approval. We wanted to hop on here a little bit early, so we'll probably end a little bit early, but I wanted to get up here in the mix of it to give you guys the TA during all of the volatility, unless the volatility is over, which would be very disappointing. Shout out to DZ's Peanuts, says, I'm shorting all the noobs in the market. What's good, Frankie? Shout out to DZ's Peanuts. Let's go. Shout out to your short, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if it winds up playing out, and we're going to talk about why right now. So, obviously, guys, to be honest, pretty lackluster price action, right? For, you know, everybody. And here's the thing, right? You don't always get that instant reaction to these big high-impact news events. Oftentimes, it does take some time. You have to understand that, you know, a lot of people who are going to FOMO aren't paying as close attention to crypto as we would be, right? Or as I would be, or as any of the Candle Mafia members are likely more into crypto than the normies, so to say, right? So, you know, you don't always see it happen very instantly. Same thing with the sell the news, right? It's not like the second it's approved, you just insta-dump, right? We did on the 1 minute, but... that was for that's another story for another day. But obviously, guys, I want to talk number one about we're going to talk the bullish and the bearish case, right? Because we do not know what's going to happen. Is it a sell the news event, or are we going to absolutely rip? And I'm going to prepare you guys to be I'm going to prepare you to be well prepared in either direction because we can simply profit in either direction. But let's continue on here, right? So a sell the news event, right? If we were to see a sell the news event, here's kind of some things that could potentially be pointing to that, right? Number one, this manipulation to the upside, call it what you want, an SEC Twitter account hack, whatever, X account hack. They really got to change that name. X is that's a horrible name. But anyway, shout out to Elon Musk. We love you, bro. But Obviously, guys, clear manipulation to the upside, and as you guys know, we were actually keeping an eye on this high, this wick high right here, sitting at $47,300, where we were potentially looking for what we call a liquidity grab. Now, this is all based off of liquidity theory and just technicals, right? So the reason we were looking for moves down from up here was simply because we knew that we had a pocket of liquidity sitting above, and then price would likely, if we came back to break this wick, we would likely get a quick move to the upside, where we could then look for a swing failure pattern and then look for some shorts to the downside, which we did. In the premium Discord. We did look at it on the live stream, but obviously the setups were put in the premium Discord. But we did wind up seeing this swing failure pattern wind up actually printing, right? We got the big wick above, stopping out all the people who were short from up here before finally coming back down, closing our candle below the level, and reversing price in the opposite direction. So this, in my opinion, guys, and we did get one of the main confirmations we were looking for in the Discord, and let me actually see if we can pull this up really quickly. I'll just pull it up right here. Don't mind these gifts. This was a wild day. Shout out to this gift. This is literally what it felt like trading the lower time frames earlier. But as you guys can see here, we were looking for something very specific, right? Not only were we looking for the swing failure pattern from that wick high, but we were also looking for a confirmation of a 1-hour bearish divergence to add a little bit of confluence to that trade. And you could see here, as the market cipher B VWAP was coming up over that zero line, and we got that green dot, we were looking for a lower high to come in on the momentum waves, confirming that bearish divergence before getting a big move down. Now, this was a bigger sign of weakness, in my opinion, and you can see we indeed did wind up getting that higher high with our lower highs on our momentum waves, giving us a pretty aggressive bearish divergence, with money flow also coming to the downside. And I can't tell you how many people were telling me, this idiot, the ETF is about to get approved, and he's looking for shorts. What's wrong with this guy? And simply, guys, that is just not how the markets work, right? And oftentimes, I forget who it was. I saw somebody post on Twitter talking about how, this is not necessarily the place to be opening up new longs, right? Now, that doesn't mean that we can't come to the upside. I want to be very clear. It doesn't mean we can't come up. Obviously, this is a very bullish news event, but honestly, guys, this is monumental. People have been talking about a spot Bitcoin ETF forever. It is always that bullish puzzle piece that people are looking at to send Bitcoin to that next price target, right? Last cycle, all the influencers were I don't know about all of them, but some influencers were just blindly calling for super high targets with, I don't know where they were getting the information from. Again, I'm a trader. I trade very technically, so I know you can predict the markets without a chart, but I just can't relate to that. I don't know how you can predict something without looking at any kind of tangible information, right? You could do your fundamental analysis, sure, but it's not just the news that moves the market, right? There are many people trading this market, and if you don't understand how that works, oftentimes you're going to get those predictions wrong. And we had a lot of influencers calling for $100,000 last cycle, and when price started coming down, you start getting these bullish articles, right? Like, oh, is someone filing for a spot Bitcoin ETF? And then everyone's like, this is the piece of it. This is the piece of news that we need to get to 100K. And when those bullish articles come, when you're at a very, very high price, oftentimes that is a local top, guys. And you have to be very, very careful. And it's very similar to what we're seeing happen right now. As we come down in the bear market, guys, the news was horrific, right? We had exchanges going down. Is crypto good for the world? Is Bitcoin finally dead? Was this the last cycle? Super cycle failed. Is Bitcoin going to 3K? And all these bearish news articles are coming out at the bottom, right? That is typically what happens. And then oftentimes towards the top, you get super, super bullish articles. Bitcoin's in the mainstream media. Your grandma's asking you how to buy Ethereum. Your cousins are texting you that haven't talked to you in years, right? Your aunt, your uncles are all asking you what to buy, and or maybe this is my aunts and my uncles and cousins don't really text me, but my friends do, and some of my family. But maybe I'm talking about me specifically. But everyone's coming in at the wrong time, right? Like typically, I've been getting some text messages recently, guys, from people I have not talked to in a long time that all of a sudden just want to talk to me and ask me what they should be buying, right? Now, understand that these people are calling me and talking to me after a 200% rise when they should have really been talking to me down here when everybody was screaming crypto is dead. This is one of the #1 reasons why retail gets wrecked so bad. bad. And I kind of separate retail traders who actually like at least somewhat know what they're doing, and then to people who are just complete normies, right? They have no idea about any kind of financial markets. They don't know anything about crypto. They just want to capitalize on the moves. And those are the people, when they text you, you have to start being very, very careful. So as we come up to a very, very key level of resistance, I do caution people and have been cautioning people to be very, very careful, right? Now, this does not mean that we are guaranteed to reject here. However, this is very strong resistance, and we need to be paying attention to this, right? And although, in my opinion, now that we have wrecked most of the shorts that were up here with this big liquidation wick and with the confirmation of the bearish divergence on the 1 hour, with money flow coming out not only on the 1 hour, but we also have the 2 hour money flow generally trending to the downside. Could this mean that this is kind of a macro top, right? Could this be a macro top? Now, obviously, the next few days are likely going to answer that question for us. There's no real way for me to tell you that, because even if the technicals are saying this is a very strong high with all the shorts getting liquidated and the money flow coming out, etc., we could still just rip to the upside, right? We really don't know what's going to happen. But from a technical level, I am looking for shorts. And not only were we short from up here, but, excuse me, also looking for to potentially add to my short on these retracements, right? And in the premium Discord, the reason I bring this up is because we literally just talked about this. Earlier today in the Discord, I was letting everybody know, hey, pull your fib from the high to the low. We have our golden pocket 786 retracement, where lower highs are often going to come in before a continuation to the downside. And guys, we simply got that golden pocket retest, right? Where did we reject from? Right from the golden pocket. So if we do come up locally again here, which again, like very, very, very lackluster price action, but if we are able to continue up here, next key levels are going to remain up here towards the 786 Fibonacci retracement level at $47,141, right? So, again, not only were we looking for shorts, well, up here, looking for that exact swing failure pattern before looking for the short, but also on the retracement. And the fact that we are rejecting here, and after arguably the most bullish news that Bitcoin has ever had, we are starting to pull. We're not really seeing the aggressive price action to the upside that we're expecting, right? And again, I think what a lot of people don't understand is they expect the news to cause a gigantic move to the upside very, very quickly. And really, the reason this is bullish is because we're going to have an inflow of people who were previously unable to invest in this asset class. Eventually, that money will flow in, which is why these ETFs are bullish in the for the long-term price action on Bitcoin, right? Now, we do have some of the altcoins going absolutely not really ballistic, but they are getting moves to the upside. Shout out to anyone who's been following along with our XRP TA, and a special shout out to anybody who's been paying attention to our Ethereum TA, calling for this $2,500 level to be the next key target. And not only that, it is very exciting because this is the doorway to higher prices, and we are starting to interact with it. So we're going to cover that in just a minute. But back to Bitcoin, guys. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, right? The fact that we got this big liquidation wick is pretty bearish in my opinion, right? Now, unless we get some kind of crazy FOMO to come in here, I am going to be pretty careful here, right? So just keep that in mind. We could try to, let's take a look at XO charts real quick. Bada boom. Let's pull up the 5-minute. Just zoom out just a little bit. Shout out to Golden, gifting more Frankie Candles memberships. Let's go. Bing bong. Shout out to Golden. You absolute legend, bro. You absolute legend. Unbelievable. Let's see. Let's go Golden. Yeah, yo, spam those golden emojis if you have them. Let's go. Shout out to High Dev, said you killed XRP. Shout out to you, man. We're going to take a look at XRP today in a little bit, so don't worry. But yeah, obviously not going to be shocking if we get a move to the upside. But again, even if we get a move up, I'm being very cautious, right? And again, not only because we have crazy resistance above, but just this high, guys. Like if we don't break this high, like this is a pretty bearish looking chart, right? Just locally here. Again, doesn't mean that we're going to nuke here, but money flow coming out, big swing failure pattern. Like this high was taken. I don't know how I feel about this, to be quite frank with you. But let's see. I only wanted my alt back. That's what's up. Shout out to No Room Records. Shout out to you, bro. But Chemistry Bro said, but Frankie, that fib has a 1.168 extension level right around 50K. Yes, and we're going to talk about that in a second, Kembro. Thank you for pointing that out. We also have a naked point of control. Shout out to Darren Does Things for pointing that out. We actually have a naked point of control up here as well. So we're going to give you the if this, then that. And guys, more importantly, I want to point you towards a video. I made a video that we were going to release either last night or this morning. We wound up releasing it this morning. And it says 100K in 2024 question mark, right? In that video, I bring you guys through what to expect when the ETF is approved, which obviously happened today. I didn't know that when I was recording the video, but we go over the bullish and the bearish case for what you need to know after the ETF is approved, for the sell the news event, for the bullish case, right? Bullish and bearish case. Where are we looking at to the upside? And we also take a look at some super bullish predictions, getting closer to $100,000 at the end of 2024 and a $200,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2025 or the end of the bull run. And I investigate these predictions made by a multinational bank to see if they are possible. And we pull out the charts, guys, and we find those targets to the upside. And there are some really interesting targets above us, technically. So go check out that video. Honestly, told Tony D last night, it's probably my favorite video I've ever made. I love doing these Bitcoin deep dives. They're a little bit longer, but they're super saucy. And the last one that I made like this was about 8 months ago when we were tapping on the door to the bottom of this volume profile right here, saying if we flip this level, we could wind up seeing a big fill of this entire range. And that was the last time we made one of these videos. So I highly recommend you guys check this out. Again, the thumbnail says 100K in 2024 question mark. Go check it out. Super saucy. But, guys, if we wind up getting a big move back to the upside, let's come down to the lower time frames. So if we do wind up getting a bigger move to the upside, number one, very important, got to crack this wick here. And again, I am open to shorts right now, right? Like I am looking for shorts because of the way this price action looks. And if this ETF does not give us an explosive move to the upside, which is definitely possible, I am going to look for shorts, right? And if we break to the upside, let's just assume the bullish case is here. Listen, the ETF got approved today, and we're in bull mode, right? So let's assume we're going to get an absolute rip to the upside. Where are we likely to go? Well, number one, guys, you want to remember, I'm going to get rid of this local TA real quick. You want to remember, monumental resistance at the macro golden pocket. This is a very key level because not only do we have the golden pocket, we also have the value area high and a naked daily point of control within this kind of pocket here, right? Very strong resistance. So we need to be careful. And if we are able to put some bearish signals into that key level, this is where I am starting to look for bigger short positions, right? And then if we get above that golden pocket, this is where we can look for a move to the 786. I don't want to get too far into this TA because it's in that video in detail. Highly recommend you guys watch that video. But I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to play out as accurately as it was when we were looking for this entire move up 8 months ago. But I actually think we may have been closer to like over here. This is, I don't want to go over all of it, but if we flip the golden pocket, next key level is simply going to be the 786 sitting right here at $57,557. And then if we break that level, really the real next important level of resistance. Now, we can pull this little area of consolidation here to find the POC. Let's go ahead and unextend that real quick. We do have this point of control up here at 61,248, but for the most part, once you get above that 786 decisively with higher time frame candle closes, this could potentially be where I would be willing to be like, okay, I think I might be wrong here. Let's take our losses and just wait for the next key level where I will simply either get stopped out or close my position at a small loss and then look for the next key level of resistance, which is simply put that $69,000 all-time high, right? So these are the next key levels above us. And again, guys, I want to be clear. There is a bullish and bearish case here, right? A lot of people like to compare this to the gold ETF, right? But just because, and it sounds counterintuitive, right? It doesn't sound like it makes sense. But just because we got this Bitcoin ETF does not mean we're about to rip to 100K instantly. But if we were, I will say this. Definitely check out that video. Tony D, if you can drop that link, he probably already did. But if you can drop that link in the chat, definitely go check out that video, guys. But if we get that big move up, there is some confluence. Like I said, Standard Chartered is a multinational bank that was calling for $100,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2024. Is this possible? This is what we cover in that video. End of 200K Bitcoin by the end of 2025, basically the end of the bull run. But there are technicals that line up with a potential $100,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2024. I want to be clear. This is not me saying that Bitcoin will get to 100K by the end of 2024. But I am saying it's not impossible, and there are technicals that would line up with that happening, right? So very, very interesting stuff. And the fact that we just got the approval may be the catalyst that turns 2024 into an extremely bullish year for crypto. Now, the big kind of wall we have in front of us, guys, is if we were to see that, we need to see the all-time high get broken before the halving, right? Or potentially before the halving. I mean, we could still end 2024 if we hit the halving and then hit 100K. That could be possible, but we may have to break that all-time high before the halving. And if we get to the halving date, which is around April, sometime in April of 2024 or this year, if we get to that halving and we don't crack that all-time high, I would be more inclined to really start looking for that higher target. But I just don't know if that's going to happen before the halving, right? So that's kind of the date that I am waiting for, but it's not impossible. And like I said many times in the past, the 4-year cycle will break eventually. As Bitcoin matures as a financial asset, we are going to see it behave differently and more like a traditional asset, right? Especially as we get this institutional money and the ETFs approved, it's going to change the way it behaves, right? And this will likely break that 4-year cycle. So although price action does or history does rhyme or repeat, you guys can see right here we did not break our all-time high of 20K until about December of 2020. And if we pull up the cycle chart, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. That's that saucy chart from the video. If you guys want to check that out, it's kind of a secret chart right now. But if we take a look at the cycle chart here, guys, you can see this is the wrong asset. There we go. If we take a look at this cycle chart, which if you guys have not seen this is simply a chart that I have made, basically just separating all the halvings, right? You have yellow line halving, then you have the bottoms, the halving, bottom. The tops are also marked out here, and I also measured out how long between each halving and top, the tops and the bottoms, etc. And this had a lot to do with how we were able to predict a potential bottom coming in at 15.5, right? And it has everything to do with looking at history potentially rhyming or repeating itself, right? So this is, people say like you can't just base your predictions off of history, which is definitely true. I would 100% agree with that. But it doesn't mean that you can't take it into consideration. We have made some amazing calls on this channel just by looking at the 4-year cycle and trying to predict things based off of history, rhyming or repeating. So as you guys can see, we did not crack our all-time high right here, 2017 all-time high at $19,666 until after the halving, right? Specifically, about 189 days, almost 200 days after the halving. We didn't break all-time high until about 200 days after the halving, right? So if we were to see the all-time high break, right, or we were going to crack that 69K all-time high, right, with, keeping the cycle intact, we could potentially see 200 days from the halving would bring us to about, now this time, this measurement does slightly increase as the cycles go on, right? So back down in this cycle, it was slightly less. This cycle was slightly more. And then this cycle, if we were assuming that it was going to be slightly more, let's call it 210 days, right? We'll just estimate. That brings us to about December of 2024, right? So if we crack that all-time high, right? If we crack that all-time high, right, 210 days or so after the halving, and we hit that $100,000 level, it would come in right at the end of 2024, which could be interesting, right? And then again, the technicals up here with the levels of support and resistance, again, this kind of secret chart that I have right here, I'm not going to show it in full, but, again, I go over it in that video. There are technical levels of support and resistance that would agree with that 100K Bitcoin, right? Not calling for it, but it would make not that it would make sense, but it's definitely not impossible, right? So again, though, that is the bullish case, right? And that isn't necessarily what we're going to see locally. So we still do have this macro resistance. This is the next level, right? We got to break that golden pocket if we want to see, Bitcoin crack that $50,000 level, right? 786, next key level above that is going to be the all-time high. These are the next major key levels I'm looking at. And again, swing shorts between this pocket of resistance. As soon as we crack that 786, I'm going home, licking my wounds, and taking the loss and expecting higher sitting on my hands, right? So that is what I am looking at, guys. And just keep all that in mind. And if you guys want even more detailed analysis, one more time, go check out that video. I texted Tony after I made the entire video. It took me hours, all the research, all the TA, all the price predictions, everything, only to edit the video and text him and be like, I don't know if I want to release this. I think it might be too saucy. I'm not lying to you, and I don't say that to like feel like, oh, I'm the best. I don't want to give away my info, but it was almost something that I was thinking about locking in the premium Discord because it really does give you my all-encompassing thoughts on Bitcoin, the bearish case, the bullish case, and what I genuinely think is likely to happen. Super saucy video. So go check it out. If you don't, totally on you, but definitely go check that out. But yeah, waiting for ADA to break. Was waiting for ADA to break 54.25. Let's see. Merit is running. Let's see. Altcoin season, baby. Yeah, guys, this could potentially be where we see Bitcoin. I mean, we are coming up just a little bit. But yeah, we may see Bitcoin just kind of chill as the alts start to run, which is basically what we are kind of seeing right now, right? Bitcoin, sure, it's up. But, I mean, well, not really, right? Like, it's only up locally, but these altcoins are starting to get moves, right? So, almost all these altcoins in the green. So, Chemistry Bro said, when ERC20 ETF for a bag of the best on-chain ETF tokens, ETH tokens, like L2s and Link and DEX tokens. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. And Darren Dusting says, yes, I think if they're going to buy the amount they're saying, it's going to moon. Yeah. And that is likely what will be the catalyst for that big move to the upside. I agree with you, Darren. Let's see. Get the dang data chart up. But yeah, guys, we will keep an eye on Bitcoin here throughout the rest of the live stream. But if you guys want to spam some altcoins in the chat, what time is it? 5:17. If you guys want to spam those altcoins, we can go ahead and start taking a look as I finish up the TA here on Bitcoin. So locally, guys, I want to give you some local levels of support and resistance within this area of price action so you guys are prepared whether we wind up starting to see a moon or we wind up getting a big dump when Asia wakes up. So, number one, I am looking at this range, right? We have this range up here, which is part of the reason why I was looking for the rejection at that golden pocket, right? So you have your volume profile right here, and then you have your bada boom, you have your fib pull, right, with your golden pocket in confluence with this value area low. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll just draw this, although we've already rejected the level. This is still resistance. And then let me just extend this profile really quickly. Yeah, so value area high of the current profile, 786, pretty good confluence there. And actually, you could even extend this, right? So these are kind of the major levels of resistance that I'm looking at, right? And again, on this move to the downside, when was this? When we got this move to the downside, this is when we started looking at these levels, right? Or similar levels, right? This is where we were looking for retracements. We actually looked for this fib right here. Let me pull that real quick. Yeah, so there is a lot of confluence here, guys. I'm not going to lie. POC golden pocket, we've already rejected. Next level I'd look at is value area high 786 confluence between 47,054 and, why'd I say that? $47,054, and the 786 coming in at 47,128. That's the next real key level of resistance. And if we get above that 786 and start flipping it to support, that's where we can come up and attack this high, where I would be very cautious because, again, this is going to be a key level of resistance. So locally, guys, this is what I'm looking at, right? Simple value area. We've already gone from the high to the low, lost the range, back to the POC, flipped it to support. Can we make it back up to the high /786 potentially for that full retracement? But these are the local levels. And again, this level here, 47,897, is that liquidation wick, right? So that is kind of another key level. And if we go ahead and pull up the liquidation heat map, I also just want to share this with you guys really, really quickly. Let's see. We got AVAX. We got ADA. Shout out to I Have Ebola. Shout out to you, bro. He really wants to see ADA. All right, we got Bonk, Superverse, Algo. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. But let's go ahead and pull up that liquidation heat map. So taking a look here, guys, this is very important to watch, right? Because, again, This is part of the reason, right? This is number one, why we were looking for that big liquidation wick that we got. We knew that above this high here, right? You have to think about it this way. If you are short, right? If you shorted this high right here, where is your stop loss going to be? Well, simply put, it's going to be somewhere above the high, right? So when you have millions and millions of people trading this, right, and you have shorts all over the place, right, and your stop losses are at all different levels. You got degenerates, you got super conservative people, right, and they're all shorting within the range. This puts stop losses all up in this area, right? And now what this is just liquidity, right? This is what liquidity is. It is simply people's stop losses or money in the market. And price is attracted to this liquidity. And this is why we were looking above this high for a short position or a swing failure pattern, because we knew that price would likely come up, get attracted to all that liquidity, and if it did come up there, we would expect a quick liquidation wick and a wick back down below the level, close your candle below that level, and that would indicate a strong rejection, which we definitely wound up getting. So looking at the heat map right now, and if you guys watch the channel, you will know there have been many, many times where we're like, hey, might go scoop that liquidity, and more often than not, you'll see these crazy wicks just go down and tap those levels. You could see right here, 48K, we had a hot spot of liquidity, right? This is one of the most powerful tools you can use, right? We had a little hot spot of liquidity right here at 48K, and what happened, right? What happened? Bing bong, wick comes up, grabs the liquidity, and then you get the reversal, right? And like even right here, right above this wick, you have this hot block, these yellow bars of liquidity. Price comes up, scoops it, and reverses. This is how we catch a lot of these trades, guys. This is a big way that you could find the liquidity in the market and find big reversal points, right? And even if you are going to continue, right, if you're going to come up here, take the liquidity, reverse, and continue up, that's all fine and dandy, right? But there is going to be a high likelihood of a reversal here for many reasons that I'm not going to get fully into right now. It's a little bit of a long explanation, right? But it has to do with manipulation, people getting stopped out and liquidated, right? But where is the liquidity sitting right now? So let's go ahead and pull up the 1 month liquidation chart. And let's take a look. XRP is pumping. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We'll take a look at XRP in just a second. But we do have some liquidity down here between about, I would say, 40,200. I mean, really, 40,200. The real concentration of liquidity here is between 39.3 and 40,300, right? So we could potentially expect price, if it starts moving down, to get gravitated towards this level before wicking into that pool of liquidity and potentially getting a sharp reversal. Now, again, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a sharp reversal to 100K, but it could just be a sharp reversal for the meantime. And if you're scalping the markets like we do, it could be a very, very lucrative opportunity. So definitely want to pay attention right there. And then zooming out to the 6 month to kind of take a look at where like the higher time frame or the longer term liquidity is sitting. Obviously 23.4, pretty big chunk down there. I don't know if we're going to go back down there and revisit it. Although, liquidity does act as a magnet, it doesn't necessarily mean that we 100% have to go there, right? Nothing is that certain. But that's about it, right? Let's pull back up the 1 month. Come on, there we go, right? So above us, we do have up here, right? I would say between about $50,000 and $53,000 is kind of that next big chunk of liquidity to the upside, right? So funny enough, if you zoom out here, you can see, let's come to the 4 hour time frame. What did we say? Let's pull it back up real quick, right? So this liquidity between 50K, 50 and 53K is basically what I would look at. And obviously your value area high is sitting at right at 49K, right? Basically, golden pocket, if you break this golden pocket at 50K, you have liquidity above, right? And you can even mark this out on your chart with a box, right? This is sometimes what I do, right? I know if this is liquidity, right, I can mark it out as liquidations, right? So when they come up here, I know that if price pushes up, right? And this is how we've been able to predict things so far, guys. So if we get up here, right, and we break that golden pocket, we know if we inch into these liquidation levels, but likely we are going to see price shoot up, right? Because as people get stopped out and liquidated out of their big short positions that they potentially entered, a very long time ago, these people, once they get liquidated or stopped out, it's going to create a lot of buy pressure on the market, right? Because when you get stopped out of a short position, it creates a market buy order, right? So as soon as you tap in here, you could see that big liquidation wick before potentially coming back down and getting a bigger reversal, right? Now, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to go to zero from here. It could just be a healthy correction before continuing back up to the upside, right? Now, these lines are drawn randomly. I'm just saying. Could come back back down, get put in a higher low on the higher time frames, and then continue up to higher prices. But these are the levels, right? And again, you can imagine that if we broke this golden pocket, this is a big level that a lot of people are watching, right? So if we break through here, hit the liquidations, and get a big wick, there's going to be a lot of FOMO of people FOMO entering longs, right? So if you start getting like, oh my God, we broke 50K, and then you start getting the liquidations, pushing the price up aggressively like we normally see, you're going to get a lot of people FOMO longing here, leaving their stop losses below. So when you reverse, it's going to add fuel to the selling side of the market, pushing price further down. So we have to be very, very careful, understanding that the liquidations are sitting there. But those are the next key levels of resistance that I'm looking at. Let's go down to the lower time frames and see what Bitcoin's doing. Is it just sitting here still? Yeah, strong resistance here, right? We don't lie when we put these levels on the chart. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the case for a bigger move up, right? Number one, ETF approved. Number two, look at this 12-minute and 15-minute money flow, right? What do we always talk about this, right? Money flow coming to the upside on the 15-minute, right? Also the 12-minute, looking to cross over into the green. Now we come up to the 4-hour, green dot printing, right? So we see that 12 and 15-minute money flow cross into the green while that 4-hour green dot is printing, which we have an hour and 33 minutes left. Look at this wick, guys. This is a bullish hammer candle, right? 4-hour bullish hammer. This could indicate, I mean, even here, but this is a bullish hammer too, right? Come down, bullish hammer, reversal. This is a very, very bullish wick in my opinion, or a bullish candle in my opinion. So green dot, 15-minute money flow crossover. When you see this happen, sometimes it can cause a big move in the market, right? It could, or cause a significant move, I should say. I don't want to say like gigantic, but it could cause a significant move, right? On top of this, you have the VWAP on the 8-hour coming to the upside, as well as your 30-minute money flow, which was nicely coming up before. Now it's kind of come back out. But with this green dot, you may see the money flow continue up. And remember, with this news, things can get crazy. So be very careful. 12 Big said, I love you, Frankie. I love you back, 12 Big. But let's see. Yeah. Chemistry Bro says, come on, BTC. Come on, BTC. Break that golden pocket. I want gains. Shout out to Chemistry Bro. 10K from 1K today. Shout out to 12 Big. Let's go. Bing bong. Shout out to you, bro. I think that means that you turned 1K into 10K. I'm taking it as that, bro. Shout out to you. We're throwing money for you, brother. Bing bong. Let's go. Shout out to you. But guys, let's continue on here and not look at the stock market. But this does look good, right? And because of this, in the premium Discord, we were looking for scalps on top of other reasons as well. We were looking for little scalp longs here. And I actually wound up, this is actually interesting because I wound up taking this trade and things went wild, right? We got into this trade and based off many things, right? We had very, very nice liquidations down here, looking like a strong bottom locally. And then again, 15-minute money flow coming up, right? 4-hour green dot, especially with the 12-minute money flow also looking like it wanted to come up. This was giving me the idea that we could find a nice little scalp long position, which, I mean, I'll just show it right now because it's already happened. This is old information, guys. This is old information. There you go. That's the rejection we were looking for. Got it. Made money on the short. Closed the short. And then we wound up going long. I went long from, I don't know the exact entry. I'll have to look at it. But we went long somewhere down here on these big liquidations. And, I oftentimes don't do this, but I literally just said, I didn't know what to do. Everything was going so fast that I literally just came in and was like, where is it? Literally just came in and was like, I'm long. Maybe I didn't. Wait, where is the... At everybody, we're back at the value area low. I said somewhere. I was like, I'm long. I was like, guys, I'm long. I don't know how to, I don't want to write out a whole thing. Or I guess did I never send that? Where's the... Well, anyway, either way, that's how we scalp the market, right? Looking for the moves down and then looking for the moves up. And we were looking for this to potentially get back up to the POC golden pocket or value area high 786. And look where we are right now. So shout out to anybody in the premium Discord that was able to get in on that very, very quickly. You had to act super, super fast, but we're up about 33%. Small little scalp position, but we'll see what this winds up turning into. And then also shout out to Blowfin. If you guys want to get a deal on your fees, they are doing 15% back on your initial deposit, which is pretty nice. So if you guys want to long or short the markets and make money alongside the Candle Mafia, you guys can check out the link in the description down below, or Tony D can probably drop it in the chat right now so you guys can get that discount. But if you guys are not experienced traders, please do not use leverage. Don't worry. It doesn't. I don't care about the affiliate links or anything. If you are not an experienced trader, stay away from leverage until you learn. I don't care if it helps me. Do not wreck yourself. Do not do this unless you know what you're doing, right? Or you could trade with, they don't only, you don't have to trade with 20x leverage like I am. But there you go. We will monitor this. Who knows? We might get wrecked here on the stream, which will be fun. So we'll have to see what happens. But let's go ahead and continue on, guys, because we have Ethereum, guys. Ethereum hitting our exact target that we were looking for, getting accepted into the value area low of the range, guys. This is big for ETH. I hope. Oh, thank you, Chemistry Bro. Thank you for getting those altcoins ready. Armin says, Frankie, bro, stay. Stream until market open. Shout out to Armin. Do not threaten me with a good time, bro. I will stay on here for 24 hours straight if I have to. Shout out to D Petty Crypto saying 0 leverage for me. Shout out to you, bro. You're ahead of the game by just knowing like that you don't want to use leverage. Like that is a good thing. Shout out to D Petty. Let's see. ETH trade looks juicy. Let's go. Shout out to Caesar. So as you guys know, a couple of days on the live stream, we were looking at this blue box, which was a significant level of support on Ethereum as we were, I even was saying, you guys know, I do not necessarily like to take trades in the middle of a range, right? You have your value area high, your value area low, and your POC in the middle. I do not typically like taking trades in the middle of a range. Now, I'm not in this trade. I didn't take this trade. I typically don't trade Ethereum. I typically trade Bitcoin, but we still cover it for the Mafia because just because I don't trade ETH doesn't mean you guys don't trade ETH. But, again, when we trade these volume profiles, guys, the reason we do so well using the volume profiles is simply because how reliable they are, where we can look for the deviations below the low, right? And then look at this as an oversold asset before flipping the value area low to support, coming to the POC, and eventually making it to the high. And then when you deviate from the high, you look at this as an overbought asset, expecting price to come back into the range, reject the high, come back to your POC, and eventually and hopefully your value area low, which at the current, at that actual where the profile was, it did come down to the low. But these levels do move as price action develops because they are all based on and created based off the volume being traded, right? So these levels move as time goes on and price action develops, but it's very, very reliable. Longs at the lows, shorts at the highs, and we absolutely crush the market trading this way. But as you guys know, the higher probability trades are simply sitting at the high and the low, not necessarily in the middle of the range. So, but there are specific situations where I will be willing to trade at the middle of a range, right? And it's when the POC is in confluence with a golden pocket or 786 retracement level, which it was the case here. And we were saying, like, guys, I don't necessarily trade the middle of a range, but this is nice confluence with the golden pocket. This would be the next level that I'm looking at for a long, which is similar to how we do it in the premium Discord, where we just look for longs at the blue boxes and shorts at the purple boxes. And you can see we came up, purple box, rejection, back down to the blue box. And we gave this live on stream the other day, looking for a bounce here. And then boom, where we go, straight up to the value area high. And we broke out of the value area high. And now we are sitting right at our next macro target, doorway to higher prices, being that previous value area low. This is big, guys. This is what we've been waiting for. And Ethereum just continues to do what we tell it to. I always say this. I should probably just trade ETH. I don't know why I even trade Bitcoin. I mean, we do fine, but Ethereum just do this, and it goes. It does whatever we tell it to, and here we are, guys. This is super, super exciting, right? And let me actually go ahead and hide a lot of this TA because this chart is quite messy. So let's go ahead and hide some of this stuff so we can get some clear understanding of where we're at, right? So you saw the local TA, or at least hopefully you saw it a couple days ago, and here we are, right? Why is this such an important level? Well, number one, we knew that once we broke out of this range, it was likely going to be the next place price was going to go, and it's based off the volume profiles. So let me go ahead and pull up that profile really quick. Bada boom. That's not it. I think it's this one. No, I'll just pull it again, right? So right here is that volume profile, right? Give or take, it's going to be a little bit off just because it's not pulled from the exact same place. But you see we have the value area low here. And just like I was talking about that value area where you look for shorts at the highs, longs at the lows, right here would be the same thing. But as we approach the value area low, this is where you want to look. Let me actually just label this out really quickly. Say value area low. Boom. And then we'll go POC. Boom. Label it. POC. And then we got the value area high. Right there. Boom. So as we approach this level, guys, this is the doorway to higher prices, as we labeled it before. I don't have that same line up, but you guys get it. Doorway to higher prices. Why? Because if we flip that value area low to support, we could potentially get a big move through the range up into that POC or that value area high, which would put ETH at a $3,000 price. Super, super exciting for ETH. And now that we are getting a push inside this range, guys, we're looking for this to flip to support, and then it looks like we could potentially get that move up for Ethereum. Very similar to what we were looking for on Bitcoin in that video 8 months ago as we were tapping on the door to this value area low. This is also how we predicted many and many, many of the altcoin moves to the upside by finding the previous value areas, right? With these value areas, if you're new to the channel, or if you've never seen my show before, we use the volume profiles all the time because they are super reliable. They are free on TradingView, and we have an even saucy Frankie. If you guys go to TradingView and just type in Frankie Candles now, check it out. Frankie Candles by Lux Algo. Frankie Candles Essentials, guys. This is my new custom profile to help the Candle Mafia kind of all encompass my TA into one tool. You get automatic Fibonacci levels. You get a volume profile. I know sometimes these are not free. This is 100% free. And it also gives you certain signals. We're going to make some content kind of showing you guys how to use it or how I would be using it. But we're kind of in a rush right now because the ETF approval, we were going to move that till tomorrow. But this is available now, guys. So just search Frankie Candles. It's Frankie Candles by Lux Algo. Go check it out. It's super saucy. And again, keep an eye out for content where we break down kind of how you use it. But it's totally free, and it's fire. I showed this the other day before we jump back into the TA. I showed this the other day. I've been not playing with it, but I've been testing this behind the scenes for quite some time. And it does print sauce cans, guys. And those sauce cans may or may not print based off of certain criteria that we look for before taking longs and shorts. You can see your value area high, value area low, deviation, sauce can. Those sauce cans print when a certain criteria of things are met on a technical level to indicate, hey, this might be where you want to look for a long, and they absolutely slap. So more to come on that very, very soon, guys, but you guys can go ahead and check that out for totally free and start playing with it. Right now, just search Frankie Candles. It's by Lux Algo. But continuing on here, again, the way we predicted this was based off volume profiles, and we saw that exact move, right? And again, we made a video about it 8 months ago. And Ethereum, same thing, right? We are essentially in the same position on Ethereum that we were on Bitcoin back, not only right here, but if we go ahead and hide this massive range, hide the macro volume profile, hide the other levels, let's just hide all this stuff, right? And we pull up the May 2020, right here, May 2022 value area. This is where ETH is right now, tapping its head on that value area low. What happened when Bitcoin broke this? It filled the range as we expected. Ethereum is literally, right, even structurally, this is the top of the 2021 bull market. We got our initial drop, first area of consolidation. That's where the range is pulled. Same thing on Bitcoin. First drop, first area of consolidation. Tap your head, flip it to support, fill the whole range. Are we about to see Ethereum tap its head, flip it to support, and then fill the entire range up to about $3,100? Definitely not impossible. So this is what we're looking at. And shout out to anybody who watches the streams and was looking for that $2,500 target to get hit on Ethereum. Yet again, Ethereum just simply listening to us. So there you go. With all that being said, here's the thing, right? Taking a look at these other time frames. Money flow on the 4-hour crossing over into the green. That is a good sign. 2-hour money flow crossover. A little overbought here, to be honest. Lower time frames. Let's see. Let me collapse this. Yeah. Look at that. Look at the respect on the value area low, guys. And it's funny because this is actually a slightly different value area low because I pulled the range differently. Literally tapped it almost to the dollar. Very interesting. But anyway, shout out to 12 Big. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. He says, great day. I'm in a good mood. Yo, let's go. God bless. Get your bags loaded, ladies and gents. Shout out to 12 Big. Thank you so much for that super chat, bro. Thank you for showing love, man. Shout out to you. I'm in a good mood as well for obvious reasons. Even if we dump from here, I'm still in a good mood just because we got these ETFs approved. Let's see. Shout out to Ibra says, bro, we love you. I love you back, bro. I love you back. But let's continue on. So there you go, right? I am being somewhat cautious still, though, guys. I know it's very bullish. I know it's very exciting right now, but look at the daily money flow. Daily money flow on its way to the downside. This could indicate, right, this doesn't indicate that Ethereum's not going to hit $3,000 this year, right? And I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying if we flip this value area low to support, it's more likely than not going to happen at some point, just like on Bitcoin in those examples we just showed. But as we look at this money flow coming out, guys, this could indicate that we are going to start some kind of a downtrend here within context of the daily, right? But if we come on up to the weekly, you can see we have a fresh money flow crossover into the green. So this is bullish in the long term. But going down to the daily, it starts to look like it may want to cool off a little bit in the meantime. Not right this second. I'm just saying once this crosses over into the red, who knows? We could shoot up to 3K and then get it to cross over into the red, right? But once this crosses over into the red, we could expect a pullback before potentially putting in some macro higher lows and then finally flipping this level and coming up, right? So just some things I'm looking at Ethereum. And let me get a hashtag value in chat if you guys want me to do an Ethereum deep dive. I've only done these on Bitcoin, but we could easily do an Ethereum deep dive looking at the longer term and kind of what we're expecting, just like we did on that Bitcoin video 8 months ago, which wound up aging extremely well. Let's see. Hey, shout out to Daragarox. I don't know how to say your name, bro, but shout out to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, bro, Bonk is up 25%. I'm making gains. So happy to be here with my candle heads. Shout out to you, bro. Congratulations on your gains. Bing bong. Hopefully you learned something on this channel that helped you make that money, bro, because that will selfishly make me feel good. But shout out to Daragarox. I don't know how to say your name, bro, but shout out to you, bro. Thank you for being here, and thank you for saying that, man. Crypto is here to stay like Frankie and the Candle Mafia. Shout out to Elite Ways. I appreciate you, bro. That is dang right. And shout out to Golden. Frankie Candle's membership's like an absolute animal. What is going on, Golden? Golden, you must be super excited about these ETFs, bro. Shout out to Golden. Insane. Go ahead and spam that golden emoji if you guys got it. Golden, I love you, bro. Look at me. I love you, bro. I love you like a brother. Shout out to you. But let's continue on here, guys. So, yeah, being very cautious with that daily money flow. Not an instant bearish sign like right now. Oh, yeah, there we go. Shout out to Tony. Says he wants you guys to vote on a poll. You don't want to piss off Tony D. I'm telling you that right now. I've seen him get into a fight with a piece of granite. It was a table, and the granite lost, surprisingly. I didn't know humans could beat up granite. He won that one. Wild. But let's continue on. Yeah, let's go ahead and continue on. So, again, not a super bearish signal right this second, but once we see that crossover into the red, we may get a little bit of a cool-off. But right now, guys, simply gonna enjoy the fact that Ethereum is sitting at our target and could potentially flip that value area low to support for more upside. So, shout out to everybody who's holding Ethereum, or Ethereum, as your grandmother might call it. Let's go ahead and continue on here to Cardano. Let's take a look at Cardano. I see a lot of people asking for Cardano. Take a look at the Binance Tether US. Oh, baby, it front ran our support level just a tiny bit there. I actually think this is an old chart. Let me see the Bybit chart. Coinbase chart? Ah, here we are. Oh, baby. Okay, here we are. Shout out to Ada, man. Oh, God. Let's check the weekly real quick. Guys, these weekly money flow crossovers could be an extremely, extremely bullish sign. Money flow crossover into the green. VWAP looking to roll over. This could be a very bullish sign, right? Like oftentimes when you get these weekly money flow crossovers, guys, and a lot of the altcoins are very, very close, right? Or near, about to cross over. Let's come down to some more. LDO has the crossover. XTC is kind of wonked out. ApeCoin getting close to DOT getting close to crossing over into the green. Breaking out of its bear market range. Very important. Atom's still kind of deep in the red there, to be honest with you. Let's see. OP's in the green. INJ. I'm not going to... Looking at the coins that have been around for a little bit longer. But yeah, a lot of these altcoins have not crossed over into the green yet on the weekly, which, guys, go back test. Whoops. What is this? Go back test the weekly money flow crossovers on these altcoins, right? Weekly money flow crossover, massive move up, 162%. Let's see. We got to find one that has a crossover. Let's see. Boom. Oh, this is Bitcoin. I mean, you could compare it to Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin money flow crossover right here. Got to move down, but then a massive move up. Excuse me. So there you go. Weekly green dot printing on Bitcoin as well. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for the super chat. He said 1,500 watching, 572 likes. Ha! Amusing. So amusing. Shout out to Creighton C, guys. Smash that like button if you're finding this content useful, or you learned something, or you made some money based off of us doing some charting or some chart. That's chart art. Go ahead and smash that like button. It is the freest and easiest way to support this channel for free 99. But let's go ahead and continue on taking a look at Cardano, or Cardanzo, as James Cramer, or Jim Cramer, might say. Okay, just checking on Bitcoin real quick, watching the trade. So, for Cardano, guys, money flow crossover into the green on the weekly could be a very good sign, right? And we've also broken out of this volume profile and then come back in, tested the POC to the dollar almost, before getting another breakout. This could be a bullish sign. And obviously, this has been tapped. We have rejected it. We were looking at this as a level of resistance before the move down. We got the move down. So, simply put, the next key level here for me would be this 786 naked point of control, or naked daily point of control, 786 confluence, sitting right here between 75 and 78 cents. So if we continue up, guys, probably likely next place to get some resistance is going to be right here before coming down. Now, excuse me. With that being said, yeah, I mean, that's what I'd be looking at. Let's take a look at the lower time frames. Daily, I mean, this is the one thing I don't love, right? In the medium term. Long term, to be quite frank with you, no pun intended, long term, this looks good, right? Weekly money flow crossover into the green is very, very good. And as long as we don't see this instantly just rip right back down into the red, typically, guys, in the bear markets, I talk about this all the time, and we talked about this in some older videos like over a year ago when we were still coming down in the bear market. For Bitcoin, we talked about how typically on Market Cypher B, when you're in the red with money flow, right, everyone at the bear market was like at 30K saying, should we buy, should we buy? And typically what I tell people is historically, this is not me saying that this is guaranteed to work, but historically, when money flow is in the red, you're buying the bottom of the bear market, right? Money flow in the red, this is on the weekly time frame, you're buying the bottom of the bear market. So literally, while we were on our way down here, was saying, guys, when weekly money flow crossover goes into the red, that is likely going to be the best time to buy Bitcoin, and that you would have literally been buying the bottom of the bear market, right? And we talked about this many, many times at the beginning of the channel. And you could kind of look at this very similarly to the altcoins, right? So pulling back up Cardano, right? Best time to buy Cardano, assuming that it's not going to nuke its lows, which I think is unlikely. But the time to buy Cardano was really when the money flow was in the red. Now, granted, we are getting a crossover into the green right now. This was when you wanted to buy Cardano, right? Now we're in the green, kind of at the tail end of that red, right? So, things do tend to go up into the right from there. But, no guarantees, but still, right? Like DOT has not had the crossover just yet. There are still some alts that are still in the red. So that's the next key level I'm looking at on Cardano. Key level of support at this point would be, if we break down back below this value area low, I'd be looking at the, value area high. If we break below this level, I'd simply be looking at the previous value area low, sitting right here at about 44 cents. Yo, hang on. Crypto Billy, I heard Hoskies was in your Twitter space, bro. Shout out to Crypto Billy. And shout out to, I don't know how I didn't mention this. Shout out to Dave Digital. Says, Chuck effing Hosky. Yo, shout out to Dave, bro. You're hilarious, bro. Chuck effing Hosky on Billy Goattails. 300 plus live. FYP. GG. Shout out to Dave Digital and shout out to Crypto Billy. If you guys like amazing crypto, content, like crypto inspirational insight. I don't know what to call it, but it's super saucy. You can check out Billy Goattails on Twitter. It's a 2-hour space. Spit and sauce for a full 2 hours every Tuesday at 9:30. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Also run by one of the best, not people in the space, or not only one of the best people in the space, but one of the best human beings that I've ever met in my life. So shout out to Crypto Billy. We love you. And shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you for the super chat. And I'm so excited off this ETF, guys. Let me be a nerd really quick. Don't look at me. I'm getting nervous, guys. I wish I had glasses. I'm getting nervous, guys. The ETF. Bitcoin's pumping. Oh, look at that. We made some money. Let's pull it up. Look at this. All right, up 45% on the little scalp long here. Shout out to the premium Discord. Let's go. Shout out to Blowfin. Let's see. Let the pump begin. Let's get it. Shout out to Dave Digital. Delete those emojis. Get rid of the inhaler emojis. Okay. Let's continue on. So this is what I'd be looking for Cardano, at least in the medium term. Next key macro levels of support and resistance. And yeah, look at this thing just flinging right out of its value area. Previous value area, door to lower prices. The reason this is the door to lower prices was, guys, because we knew when you come down here, like if you are new to the Candle Mafia, first off, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you turn on notification bells so you don't miss any of our saucy videos or market updates. But most importantly, if you don't hit the subscribe button or you don't hit the like button or any of that stuff, just take this away with you. If you hate me, if you're looking at this guy like, yo, this guy's an idiot, I hate this guy, just take this away. Please, for the love of God. When you're looking at volume profiles, they can help you understand and give you context into where price is likely to go next. And I literally write on these levels what will happen when it gets there, because I know it's likely. It doesn't always play out, but as we come down here, guys, your key level of support is the previous value area high. You get a bounce, a rejection from your value area low, and then once you get accepted back into the range, this is why it's the doorway to lower prices, because a value area high, when approached from above, is a floor that, if broken, you will fall right through to the next floor, which is going to be your POC, and if you break that, you're very likely to fall through to your value area low. And you can see, we didn't look at this since we drew it, but you can see as soon as we broke this, boom, right to the value area low. You can imagine how lucrative this can be if you understand how it works and you're able to trade based off of it. Now, this is beautiful and actually somewhat bullish in my opinion, because not only did we get stuck and get a nuke, but we also got a move back out, tap that POC. Oftentimes, when you are going to see an asset make another move up, it will break into its previous range, test that POC before getting another move to the upside. So, and just to help you understand how these value areas work, price ranges 80% of the time, right? So anytime you look at a chart, you have imbalance and then you have balance. And shout out to the Candle Mafia. I know this is, I know a lot of you know this already, but you get imbalance, which is a big move to the upside. I do not trade this. Retail loves to trade this. That's why they get wrecked. But you get a move up and then you get a range, right? So you get a little move up, a bit of a range, right? And then you'll get another move, say, up, and then you get another range. And then maybe you get a move down, and then you get a range. And then you get another move up, and then you get a range. And then you get a big move down, and then you get a range, right? So price ranges 80% of the time. Price action likes to hunt out these areas, these ranges. Why? Because these ranges are considered a fair value for the price. When you're using volume profiles and you have these ranges, would be considered a fair value. Buyers and sellers agree that the fair price for Cardano, in this case, would be $1.15 to $1.07, right? Shout out to Cardano. But once you get a dip below this range, people are thinking, hey, this is a cheap Cardano. Maybe I'll buy some down here, expecting it to go back into the fair price. Price likes to hang out in the fair value. And when you leave the fair value and you get imbalance to the upside or downside, this is where price will then go hunt out another value area or area of balance. Price likes balance, right? So once you get the imbalance, it's going to hunt out another range. Now, the reason this is so useful is because when you get price to move let's say this is one big value area right here, right? So you have your value area right here, right? And price breaks out of this range. Let's say price breaks out of this range decisively. It's either going to find old balance where it found balance in the past, which could be right here, right? So I'll just draw that out. This could be a range that price winds up going to, right? Because it found value there in the past. So it may go back up there and respect the levels again. And if it doesn't, it may go for one of the higher ranges. So we know, let's pretend that this range isn't here. And let's say the next range to the upside was previously right here. Price is simply going to hunt out the next area of balance, right? So if we break out of this range, price is going to look where that next area of balance is. And once you flip that value area low to support, you're likely going to go to the midpoint. Usually the POC is in the middle of the range. And then once you flip the POC, you're likely to go to the value area high. This is how we predict things. And we teach it for free every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where Frankie Candles shows you how to make money trading this market on the 1 minute or weekly, whether the price is going up or down. Bing, bong. There you go. Free value for the people who love me or hate me. I think there is like 2 or 3 people that might hate me. But anyway, I'm just kidding, guys. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Frankie, when you get a chance, can you look at the red and green dots on the June 2019 weekly momentum wave on BTC? If you get a chance, maybe compare it to the current weekly. Shout out to Creighton C. I will do that once we go over Arbitrum and Matic, because Matic is making a move, which is something we were looking at very recently. So there you go, guys. That is how the volume profiles work and how we're able to predict these prices. So right now, we knew you lose this range, you're probably going to go hunt out this range. We lost this range now. We could get accepted back in here and potentially find balance back in this area before breaking out to higher prices, which again is coming in between 75 and 78 cents. That is Cardano. Smash that like button. Here we go. Taking a look at Arbitrum. Let's see. Let's take a look at the Coinbase chart. Take a look at the daily. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Prasan. I never know how to say that, bro. I apologize. He said, Frankie, could you please teach us where to pull the fixed range from? Like, how do we know from which point it's going to give you the most accurate readings? Thank you. Shout out to Prasan. Sorry I butchered your name, I'm sure. But I have videos on the channel that show you guys how to use the fixed range volume profile. Go watch those tutorials. But in a simple answer, I just look at where the market had found value, right? So where the market finds balance. So you see we have a high, a low, another high, another low. You could see that this is somewhat of a range. So simply put, what I would do is find that area of consolidation and pull your range right on that area of consolidation. Now, this you can generally, or just technically, you could pull these from wherever you want. I use volume profiles not only to analyze ranges, but also analyze trends, right? So what I'll do is I'll turn my value area to 100, right? That way the whole thing opens up, and I would even extend this to like 50, or not even. Let's do it to like 200 so you can see the actual profile, right? So I can look at this trend and say, hey, we've gotten this move up. If we get a cool off, where are the areas that I would be looking for a potential buy the dip opportunity? Well, you could look at the high volume nodes. Well, really, right here is clearly your highest volume node, or simply put, the area where the most volume was transacted. So this could be a key level that if revisited, now we're on the 2-day chart, so this is a little extreme, but if we were to absolutely nuke down to this level, we know that this is an extremely high interest area where your point of control is sitting. It's hard to see that pink line there. That's letting you know that that is the area where the most volume was transacted, being the strongest level of support or resistance, right? So once we come down to this level, I know that this could be the most important level within this trend. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't look at the other levels, right? We have another high volume node here, another high volume node here, etc. But this is where you basically want to use your Fibonacci retracements or any other tools you're using to potentially find confluence and look at where your 786 just so happens to pop up right on that point of control, right? So we click this and activate our golden pocket again. You could see golden pocket, if you lose that golden pocket, if you came down here, hypothetically, and you lose this golden pocket, you could get a move to that high volume node, go for the 786 retracement before another move up. Again, this is on the 2-day, so it's a little extreme of an example. But that's how I use it, right, for a trend. And then if you wanted to do it for a range, just simply find where price consolidates, right? Like, let's see, like right here. Right there. You got a little up and down, right? But you could really pull this from wherever you want. So it's kind of, there is, I guess you could call it a right and wrong way, but in my opinion, it is somewhat subjective. I bet you there's someone out there that uses the volume profile in a super untraditional way, and they kill it, right? So I don't really want to say that. I don't really want to say that there's a wrong way to do it, but simply the way I like to use it, or the way that I have found success, is simply just finding where we have a range, right? So you have a high, right? So we'll see, like right here, you had a high, you had a low, right? Kind of, I mean, your low of your range technically is there. That's like a liquidation wick. But you have consolidation here, right? So I just pull it on sideways ranges, right? And there's a little bit more of a caveat there, but watch the tutorial videos on the channel. They'll definitely open up your eyes and give you more of a detailed insight into how to use them. But taking a look at Arbitrum, guys. What do we have going on here? Taking a look at the daily. Obviously, just got a big move to the upside. Let's let those indicators load. Let's see. Shout out to Golden, man. Golden is on multiple accounts, so he can skirt YouTube's limits on how much he can give away. Golden, you are honest. You are. I don't even know what to say about you, bro. It's like you're insane. Shout out to you. But green dot printing on the daily, obviously getting that pretty big move to the upside. Let me go ahead and do we have a running chart here? There we go. Okay, so taking a look here. Get rid of that fib. We can get rid of this fib. These are all old. So could have seen a swing failure here. Did not get it, clearly. We just basically flipped level to support, so no trade to be had there. But there we go. I mean, let's extend this to the right. Yeah, so bear with me. Bada boom. Pull it here. Okay, so key level here on Arbitrum. If we see something similar to what we saw on Cardano, right, where Cardano went in and tapped its previous POC. I would pull it up. I don't want to spend too much time pulling it up here, but if we take a look at the Cardano chart here, you can see Cardano dumped down, tapped that POC before breaking out. That is why I'm looking at this as a key level, because sometimes price will dip into the previous range, tap that POC before finally breaking out. This was likely a golden pocket retest, right? So let's check it. Boom, right? It was a 786. It was a 786 retest, right? Bitcoin getting a continued push to the upside. Oh, no. I just had anxiety, guys. Where's my trade? I don't like not knowing where my windows are. There we go. All right, there we go. Not a bad tip for basically the live stream. Entered this right before we got into the live stream. Shout out to the premium Discord. Snipe the bottom there on that one, baby. Let's go. Up, yeah, there we go. Trading can be very, one of the, least labor required things to make money. It's absolutely wild. Granted, we don't really contribute anything to society by trading. It could be one of the not easy. It's very hard to make money trading, but one of the easiest when it comes to like physical labor. Like you just sit here and be like, I'm gonna get into a trade, and then boom, quick little $800. Not a bad addition to the day. But let's continue on. Let's go ahead and check it out here. If you guys are interested in making gains like this, just so you know, we teach you guys how we do this every single day, not only in the premium Discord if you want the extra sauce, but I also give a ton of this away for free on these free live streams. If you pay attention and you write notes and you legitimately dedicate yourself to learning this craft and you tune into these live streams, you will have the information available to you to become a profitable trader by simply tuning into these free live streams. And that's coming from someone who literally sells a premium Discord. I'm telling you, you don't necessarily need to do that to make money. If you apply yourself and watch these live streams, there's enough free alpha here for you guys to learn enough to become profitable traders. I promise you that. I'm sure there's people in chat right now that have done that exact thing. Let me know if you are here. But anyway, let's continue on. You can also lose money very fast. I don't want anyone thinking like we just jumped into this trade willy-nilly before the stream and we're up $800, no problem, right? There's a lot of analysis that goes into it. I just mean from like, I used to have to work a lot longer than an hour and a half to make that $800. And now we just, now this is after years of learning how to trade and mastering the craft, right? I don't want anyone thinking I'm saying it's easy. It's not easy. It takes a long time to learn and it's a lot of tribulation, right? You have to try to, Bonko and nuts. We'll check that out in a second. But yeah, I don't want anyone thinking like I'm saying this is easy. Okay, let's continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's get out of Bitcoin here and back to Arbitrum. So ARB obviously got a nice little breakout of its range. Now, I don't know. This is a pretty aggressive move to the upside. I don't know if you're going to get accepted back into the range here to come down to the golden pocket. So this may be an aggressive target to the downside, really where I would rather look here. This is key, right? This is going to be an important level to look at. So I will actually turn this blue for support. Bada boom. Boom. There we go. Yeah, so I would look at this as a level of support. Also, key level right here being your value area low 786, right? Simply looking at the volume profiles. So if we get a move back into the range, right? And these are not the only levels that you have to pay attention to, but let's say you get a pretty big nuke, right? You would have to get a pretty aggressive move down. I would look for potential bounces at this blue box. But if I were looking for longs and we did get back into the range, I would prefer, doesn't mean you can't bounce off the golden pocket like you did on ADA, but I would prefer to wait to come down to the value area low because typically the higher probability trades are going to be at the low of the range or the high of the range for shorts or longs, right? So, but this would not be. We also have some other local levels we can look at, and I will just go ahead and pull another fib. I don't know why I pulled it to the same area. I would also pull a fib right here where you now have confluence with your 786 golden pocket retracement and your value area high. Boom, right? So these are kind of the three major levels. So if we are just going to come back and retest the value area high or golden pocket 786 before continuing up to higher prices, this is zone number one I'd be looking at for a bounce. Between $2.02 and $1.95, right? And then once you break below that 786, chances are you're likely going to come down to your POC where you have your golden pocket confluence. And then if you lose that, basically once you get below this 786, you're looking at general volume profile rules, right? Generally, even if the golden pocket's here, I oftentimes still won't take the trade, but it doesn't mean you can't bounce, right? But me personally, I would rather just miss the trade or wait for that value area low to get hit. So there we go. That is what I'd be looking at on Arbitrum. Those are the key levels. To the upside, I believe this is, I believe this is price discovery. Yeah, it is. So yeah, no way to look right. No way to look left for our levels of resistance. But what we can do is potentially we could pull a fib here, and we can look at some Fibonacci levels. Bada boom, bada bing. So next major fib level, the 1618 coming in at $2.45. Can we hit it? I don't know. Let's see. So if I was, I would just look at this as target number one. Okay. Didn't know that was going to happen. All right. Interesting. Just wanted to type here. Target number one. There we go. So there you go. I mean, this is pretty kind of far away, right? So I'm just going to give you that first one. $3 and $3.55 are going to be the next targets to the upside. But number one, $2.45 is probably going to be your next major level of resistance. So there you go. There is Arbitrum. Shout out to Legrand Commission. Shout out to you, bro. He said, can you do TA on XRP? Let's see. What do we got? Yeah, we could take a look at XRP, and we will also be taking a look at Matic. I just want to reiterate or remind everybody that just because you super chat an altcoin does not guarantee we will take a look at it. Obviously, I see the super chats more because they stand out, but it doesn't guarantee we look at your coin. I don't want anyone like sending it thinking that they're buying TA, but you're not. So just keep that in mind. Shout out to Blockchain Domain said, I just wanted to say hi. Shout out to Blockchain Domain. I appreciate you for being here. Always good to see you in here, bro. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, I'm gonna run through some of these alts, and then we'll get to XRP. And shout out to Ian. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He said, Don Francaleone. Shout out to you, bro. He says, any classes on entries and exits getting wrecked with stop loss hits a lot of times. Shout out to Ian or Ayan. There are typically things that I tell people to avoid getting stop hunted. But likely what you're experiencing, bro, is simply a stop hunt or a liquidity grab, which is simply We might go long on this live stream, guys. I just want to warn you. But simply put, stop losses is the act of, it's not that the market makers are trying to stop you out to cause pain, right? But what they're trying to do oftentimes is fill a larger position. So oftentimes, if you have price, right, comes up, right, and you make a high, and people short that high, right? Like say you build a range here, you start like putting in lower highs here. A lot of people are going to short these highs, right? And what that does, we actually just explained this before. What this does is build up a lot of liquidity or a lot of stop losses above those highs, right? When you see equal highs, oftentimes there's a lot of stop losses above. And remember what I said, stop losses are simply money in the market. And that is what liquidity is. Liquidity is money sitting in the market. And that is what price is gravitated to, right? Because you have to go to the money to transact. So with that being said, oftentimes, these stop losses act as a magnet for price. So what I like to do, or how I tell people to try to avoid getting stop hunted, is assume where people's stop losses are likely sitting. So if I know there's a lot of people short, if I know that there's a high here, I can assume or hypothesize that there's a lot of people short from this area. And if they're short from this area, their stop losses and liquidation levels are going to be somewhere above these highs, right? So their stop losses are likely going to be of all shapes and sizes up here, right? So, and typically, a lot of retail will typically set their stop losses above a previous high, right? So let's assume you had some kind of price action up here right before you wound up coming here for a short. A lot of retail will set their stop losses above the previous high. So what I do is I say, hey, there's probably a lot of people short here. You could also use the liquidation heat map to identify where that liquidity is sitting. These are more specifically liquidation levels, but where there's liquidation levels, there's oftentimes stop losses, right? So it's kind of the same idea. So what I would say is, hey, people are likely short from this high. So if I want to short here, I'm going to wait for the market makers or the market just in general to come up and start stopping out these people, right? So these people are getting stop hunted because they all set their stop losses where everybody has their stop losses above the previous high. So I know that. So I don't enter the short until I know those stop losses get taken out. So basically, I wait for price to come up, and then once these stop losses start getting hit, it is going to create market buys, because when you get, I said this earlier today, when you get stopped out of a short position, it creates a market buy. That's why you get these big short, that's how a short squeeze works, right? So once you start stopping these people out, it causes a cascade of buy orders, because all these people are closing their shorts, opening, which creates buy orders, right? Just automatically, your stop loss becomes a market buy. And that pushes price up where you get those big liquidation wicks, and then that is where you want to enter your trade after all the noobs got wrecked. And then you will enjoy, oftentimes, Ian, let me try to guess something. Let me read your mind. Are you getting stopped out and then price is going the direction you thought it was going to go? That means you're getting stop hunted, right? And this is how you avoid it. I just gave it away for free. I probably shouldn't have. I probably could have just kept that secret. But we talk about it all the time on the live stream, so I'm just kidding. But shout out to Ian. Hopefully that helps you out. I don't know if that's even what you were talking about, but I figured maybe somebody learned something. Scalp Long also still doing pretty well. So there we go. Okay. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, shout out to Zach. Says stop losses equals money. That's right, bro. Let's go. Yeah, Pitbull says, Frankie does it again. Let's go, guys. My goal is to help you make money. Listen, we're a business, right? Like a YouTube channel. I got to make money. I got to eat too, right? I'm just kidding. We're making money on the trades, obviously. But for real, guys, my goal with this channel is to help you guys make money, not try to get clout, not try to become famous, not to, take advantage of an audience and tell them that Bitcoin's going up when it's not, or, not to deceive people or lie to people, but to be honest and be a good human being and help people, genuinely help people make money in this market. That's what keeps me going, right? That's what gets me up in the morning. When I get the DMs that say, Frankie, these super chats that we got during this stream, DMs every day I get, Frankie, you taught me something. I was able to make money. I was able to help my family. I was able to buy my daughter a car. All these really cool DMs. This is why I do it, right? So there you go. I genuinely mean that. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat. I said, Frankie, please check bat phone ASAP. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, the bat phone's dead. Tony D, the bat phone is dead. Oh, no. Oh, no, I don't know what's going to happen. Are we frozen or something? No, we're good, I think. We're good. But yeah, Tony, let that turn on. Hopefully it's not Frankie's Batman. But let's continue on, guys. Let's take a look at Matic, and then we're going to take a look at XRP. Let's go. Oh, baby. Let's go. Guys, where did we Where did we... Can't make it up. Can't make it up. Well, oh wait, hang on a second. Oh, this is Matic. This isn't even XRP. But hey, shout out to Matic. The levels hit, guys. I mean, this is like, you can't make this up. Where are we sitting? Right at our purple level of resistance, which is not only our targets, but where we look for rejections. And where do we look for the bounces? Simply within the blue boxes. I don't know what to say. Shout out to the CandleMafia. You guys are the best. Okay, guys, bear with me. This seems like an emergency. I'm like kind of scared to look at this, but bear with me for 2 seconds, guys. Let me just check this. Let me check this DM really quickly. Off screen. Ooh, okay. Okay. All right, let's continue on here. Okay, so okay, so let's take a look at XRP first because Matic, that looks good. Let's take a look at XRP. And we're going to take a look at the Bitstamp chart right here. And here we are, guys. Simply put, we looked to get stuck. I mean, again, listen, guys, XRP broke my heart. I shorted this using the exact strategy that I just went over with those drawings for Ian. Again, hopefully that helped out Ian. I didn't see him back in the chat. Hopefully that helped you out, bro. But using that exact same strategy that I just talked about to enter the oh, there's Ian. Oh, I'm going to come back in a second. But this is using that exact same strategy is how I was able to enter this trade, right? I was waiting for the people who were short above this high to have price come up, take that liquidity, and then reverse us to the downside. I then planned on holding the trade as we were getting stuck underneath this value area low, targeting the previous value area high. Like I said, this is just a game of volume profiles. We had balance, well, massive imbalance, but we had balance within these ranges, and then we had imbalance, got accepted into this range, and then once we lost this range, we simply hunted out the next area of balance, which was down here. So I planned to hold that trade all the way down to the previous value area high / POC of that range. And for whatever reason, my position just randomly closed. I don't know what happened, but it wound up hitting both targets perfectly and then instantly reversed at that POC where we were looking for a retracement into this level, potentially looking for, as long as we were able to hold above this level, looking for a move up to this. Shout out to anyone who watched the stream last night. We looked at this last night, I think. As we get a move up to our next key level of resistance, which brings us to the current analysis on XRP, which is if we get to this value area low, we could potentially flip it to support and look for a move up to our next target, which in my opinion would be this golden pocket at 74 to 76 cents. And then once we get above that golden pocket, I would look for it to get up to about right here between 83 and 84 cents, where the POC and 786, or the POC of the range and the 786 of the Fibonacci retracement is sitting. So these are the next two targets. But first, obviously, we got to get back above that value area low. But again, what I want you guys to understand is why we got the bounces, right? It's not because I'm the best analyst and I know exactly where it's going to bounce. It's simply based off the volume profiles, right? And Fibonacci levels as well. We had confluence with a golden pocket and a 786 down here as well, right? It's very simple. I don't want people to overcomplicate things. It's a simple concept, right? Simple theory. As you get a move down, you're looking for a retracement, right? And if you look at this, bear with me. Hang on. Hold up. Bear with me, guys. I want to make sure I'm I want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Yeah. So this is the full Fibonacci retracement from this low all the way to the high. So when you get a big rejection, you could expect a golden pocket 786 retracement, right? And this is where you expect the higher low to come in and the continuation to the upside to begin, right? And that is the logic behind these levels. We're not just finding random levels or crossing our fingers hoping they work. You have to understand how things work, right? So, and not only is this a golden pocket 786, but you also have the value area high and the POC of the range in confluence, making this a very high probability trade, right? And we're seeing that play out right now. So key level of resistance, 63 cents, which is your doorway to higher prices on XRP. So you get above this, looking to move to the golden pocket, and eventually the 786 point of control at 83 cents. Same exact thing that we saw right here. We knew that once we left this range and we got above the value area low, the next place to likely go would be that point of control. And where do we get the rejection? Right from the point of control, right? This stuff works. It's not magic. I didn't make it up. I wish I did. because I would feel like I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I was the inventor of this. But anyway, there you go. All right, let's check. Oh, people are saying check BTC. Oh, there we go. There we go. Bitcoin getting the move, baby. Bitcoin getting the move. There we go. Trade's still doing well here. Trade's still doing well. Let's see. Yeah, XRP very well alive. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's go, baby. Going to the moon. Going to the moon. Frankie, BTC 48K short. I mean, listen, bro. Listen. There's key resistance. Let's check in on Bitcoin, guys. Let's check in on Bitcoin really quick. Let's pull up the key levels as we approach the high. Okay, so let's check it. Let me pull up the macro volume profile. If I could find it. I can read, guys. I swear I can read. I just get nervous sometimes. I'm a little nervous. Okay, there we go. Right, okay. So key level here, guys. Key level, golden pocket. Sitting, I'll just pull a fresh one because I don't want to search for it. I don't want to waste time. We are in high octane mode right now. So pulling from the high all the way to the bear market low, right? This is the golden pocket I'm looking at for anybody who's wondering, like, where is he getting this magical golden pocket level? Simply put, it is the macro golden pocket from the top of the bull run all the way to the bottom of the bear market, right? And I will even clean up the actual box here to match perfectly, right? So there you go. And again, guys, like, are you guys noticing a little bit of a trend here, right? We are just looking at volume profiles, and this is how we predict the markets, and we are approaching that key level, the golden target that we've been looking at all the way since the bear market started coming to an end was when we started looking for that golden pocket to potentially retrace to, and here we are. Finally, like over a year later, coming up to this target. So I'll say this, 48,000 to 50K is the next key level of resistance. Now, I am waiting for price to approach this level, and really what I'm looking for is let's pull up the heat map real quick. Because if we come up to a, you know what? We're not going to be able to get it, unfortunately, because the heat maps don't go back far enough to give us a read on those highs. Like the highest this goes, yeah, I don't think this populates because it's too far left. So we're not going to be able to look at the heat map, unfortunately. But you have to assume, right, that there's probably people short from this wick up here. So if we break this level, we are likely going to pop to that value area high, in my opinion, right? Because if we do indeed see those liquidations occur, it's inevitably going to add buy pressure to the market, bringing us up to that value area high. Now, that is where I start looking for shorts, right? It's not a set a limit order and cross our fingers, right? Now, could you do that? Sure. Will it play out sometimes? Sure. Right, there's been many times where if I just had a limit order sitting at a level, I would have nailed the trade. But I don't recommend doing that because if you set that limit order and then you go to sleep, and then you wake up and there was no confirmation at the key level to take the trade, you're just going to get wrecked. So, and with this, I'm being somewhat careful, right? Because once we get a move to that golden pocket, you have to be careful of that potential 786 retracement, right? So what I'm doing at these levels is I'm going to be looking, right? And I'm not just willy-nilly entering the trade, right? I'm looking at the charts. I'm looking at the order flow, understanding if it is going to be a safe trade, right? I'm not just blindly shorting. We could get up here and things could look super bullish and it could just, I wouldn't enter the trade. We can get up to the 786. And again, even if I do enter shorts up here, if we get to that 786, assess the situation when we get to the key level and it looks bullish, I may close the short, right? It's not just get into the trade and pray that it works out. You're going to get wrecked like that. You have to be able to flip-flop back and forth. It's okay to be bullish right now and then get new information on the charts and then flip bearish. That is totally okay, especially if you're a trader, right? If you're a trader, it is the most important thing that you're able to do that. You have to be able to do that or you're not going to be successful. You're just going to hold on to your longs because when moon, right? That's not how you make money. That's how you lose money. Understand, most people lose money in crypto, guys. Sure, it's the only asset class that you could basically become a millionaire overnight in. But understand, a lot of these people who become millionaires overnight, they are a millionaire on paper. They're either in a meme coin that has no liquidity that you can't sell, right? Or they get rich overnight, and then they never sell, right? And it has everything to do with people just like when moon. That's not a good way to trade. I was talking to somebody recently, and they were telling me that they always get wrecked trading stocks. They were trading stocks and crypto. I always get wrecked. And I'm like, well, what are you doing? And like they were saying like they buy when the price is at their favorite number, and I'm just like, that's why you lose money. And it's like it has nothing to do with why the stock or the crypto is going to go up or down, right? You have to understand how this stuff works. It's not just I think this company makes really good phones, I'm going to buy it, right? It's not the only reason that the stocks go up or down, or the crypto, same thing, right? Crypto's even more speculative and dangerous. But as we get up here, I am looking for swing shorts, right? So I am willing to look for longer term, lower leverage, swing short positions that I'm willing to hold in drawdown for longer, right? With my day trades, right now, this day trade, right? Not even day trade. This is like a scalp. I've only been holding this for a little bit. But, this trade right here, simply put, is, I'm not willing to hold that in massive drawdown, right? This is a 20x trade. It's pretty high leverage, right? So as we come up to this golden pocket, guys, I'm looking to enter low leverage, 2x, 3x leverage with higher capital. And then that way, if we come up and the trade goes against me, I don't have that 50x leverage working against me, right? I'm not losing all my money aggressively. I'm sure I'll be in the red. I'll be losing money. But assuming that we're going to get some extra resistance at the 786. That's why I might even enter a small position here, right? Another way you could do it is enter a small position, or not even a small position, but enter like 50% of the position you would initially want, right? And then if you come up, you could have a tighter stop loss, and if you come up and then you break the golden pocket, you could stop out of that trade for a very small loss and then just go for an additional entry. Go for an additional entry at the 786. Probably the way I will handle it is I will enter part of my short position right here, right? And then we'll just say I'll enter part of the short here, and then the second part of my short will be entered right here at the 786. So I'll just enter here, be in drawdown, and then when we hit the 786, if I get confirmations, I'll add another 50% to the position, and then if it keeps coming up and flipping the 786 to support, that's where I'm like, okay, I'll take the loss, lick my wounds, and I was wrong, right? And that's just simply part of the game. So there you go. And you have to understand, guys, there's probably a lot of limit orders sitting at that 48K level, right? So there you go. Yeah, so getting a little bit of a pullback here. We didn't take that high, though, which is interesting. We did not take that. We'll see. Oh, she's nuking, baby. She's nuking. But anyway, let's continue on. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Let's go. He says 1.9 live viewers. Much love. Shout out to all 1,900 of you guys. Smash that like button. If you guys get me 1,000 likes, we're at 800. If we get 1,000 likes on tonight's stream, I'm giving $500 of Cardano to one lucky CandleMafia member on Friday's giveaways. So shout out to you guys. Smash up that like button. Let's go. All right, let's continue on here. Okay, we took a look at XRP. Let's take a look at Matic. Let's see. Thanks, bro. Ibra. Shout out to Ibra. BTC dumping. Oh, baby. She's dumping. We're still well in profit. We're good. I'm going to hold it. We'll see what happens. Boom. And again, guys, right, real quick, taking a look at Bitcoin. Take a look at the 4-hour. Another reason, right? Remember, part of the reason we entered this trade, right? Part of the reason I entered the trade here, look at the 15-minute money flow, right? Let me just show this really quickly. Yeah, let me show this really quickly. I'm going to pull my face up because I got to pull up Discord real quick. I don't want to leak anything. Bada boom. Whoops. Bada boom. Bada bing. And then we'll go here. And the reason I do this, guys, is not to brag or show that, oh, look at us, we know what we're doing. I do it so you guys can learn what we look at, right? So you can do this as well. So here we are, right? Part of the reason I was looking, oh, we're really far back now. Part of the reason that I was looking at that long position, right? We had nice liquidations, right? But on top of that, we had our 15-minute money flow coming to the upside with our 4-hour green dot, right? This is what we talked about right before price decided to come back up, right? Bada boom, coming up right here, right? We got a dump. We got the dump we were looking for from the purple box posted earlier this morning. Even though we didn't get the bearish signals, I was looking at. On top of this, we are seeing market cipher B looking like it might want to give us a move to the upside with money flow on the 15-minute looking to cross over into the green and the 4-hour red dot looking to print. Now, the 4-hour money flow does look pretty bearish. We'll talk about that in a second. But again, we have to be careful with the news. It's very unpredictable, etc., right? But look at this money flow. We entered when this money flow was looking. We front ran this money flow slightly, right? And now it is just starting to cross over into the green. So arguably, this is just beginning the move that we were originally looking for, because that money flow crossover into the green is typically where you see the big move happen when it's in accordance with that green dot printing. When these things happen at the same time, this is oftentimes where you see that move up. So I'm not really that worried. Number one, if the price comes down and I lose this trade, I'm not worried about it, right? But if we continue up, we could just be starting our move, right? With the fresh money flow crossover on the 12 and the 15-minute, this pullback is fine, right? I'm not really worried about this, at least as of right now. I might get worried about it in just a second, but again, like, we're still well in profit. You have to get used to these swings, right? We were just up over $1,000. Now we're only up 560, but you have to be able to stomach these swings, guys, because if you can't, you're going to wind up closing, and then you're going to wind up seeing price go back in the direction you thought potentially, and then it's going to mess up your psychology for the next trade. You do not want to do that, right? Now, I don't have a stop loss set on this as of right now, which is really bad. Don't do that. But I'm very actively watching this trade. It's literally up on this screen. I'm watching it. Like, if this thing nukes, I'm going to be able to get out at either profit or at a small loss. But with the volatility earlier today, I was in a position where I couldn't really set a sound stop loss because it was so volatile, right? Like, the wicks were going crazy. Any trade that I entered, even if I had a crazy stop loss, it was likely going to get hit, right? So just keep that in mind. And like, just like that, 2 seconds later, we're up almost 700 now. So we would have closed at 500. It would have went up to 700, and then we would have been like, "Oh my God!" And like, especially if you're just learning how to trade, you don't wind up messing up your psychology like that. So take that from me, right? Like, these swings mean nothing, right? Because I have a plan for the trade, right? And my plan right now is just starting to play out like I want it to. So there you go. But anyway, let's continue on. All right, let's see. Taking a look at Matic. Finally, guys, let's take a look here. Just with Bitcoin, with the exciting moves here, we gotta keep an eye on it. Okay, so let me pull up the actual Matic chart that we were looking for right here, right? And where are we getting the rejection from, guys? This is how we do it. Okay, let's see. Take a look at the daily, right? Green dot printing. Now, here's the thing, guys. Longer term or medium term here, I'm not saying I'm super bearish, right? But this money flow is indicating that if I'm looking at this money flow on the daily, what I am expecting naturally, if the ETF news was not a factor, right? The ETF news kind of throws a wrench in everything because, this definitely changes things a little bit. But generally and traditionally, when you have money flow crossing over into the red, this indicates the longer term trend is likely to continue down, right? So what does this mean? It means that once you get a bounce, you would more likely expect this to be a lackluster move to the upside, which is likely what we were talking about when we initially did this TA. You would look for a lackluster move to the upside before putting in a potential lower high and continuing down to lower prices. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that Matic is going down, right? And a big reason for that is, shout out to Edgar. We just did ADA a few minutes ago. If you just slide back just a little bit, you will see that. But this is where you look for the lackluster retracement before potentially putting in a lower high at the 786 golden pocket before getting a bigger move to the downside. But again, the ETF news kind of throws a wrench in all that, right? So, but traditionally, just by the way money flow works, this is oftentimes this is why these levels of resistance are here, right? Or actually, hang on. These are actually older levels just still getting respected to the dollar. Never mind, guys. This is not the 786 golden pocket I would look at. Granted, I mean, you have your POC here, which is the same, right? So you'd expect resistance at the POC anyway. But if you were to pull a fresh golden pocket, let's go ahead and do that. The levels that I would look at right now would actually more likely be the golden pocket a little bit higher, sitting right here. Grab a box. So, yeah, this golden pocket 786 retracement would really be the level. Can't believe that other level was respected so nicely. But, with that in mind, really what I'd be looking for, again, daily money flow, lackluster retracement to the upside, all that remains the same. Money flow just kind of unticked out of the red. Interesting. But basically what I'd be looking for, you got to the high of the value area, right? Value area high, rejection. You expect to go to the POC and then the value area low, which we kind of front ran just a little bit, but you had your golden pocket there, right? So that makes sense why you would get the bounce. So at this point, I'd look for a bounce at the value area low, get above the POC, and then look to number one. First level of resistance I would look at would be right here between $1.01 and 95 cents. If you broke these levels to the upside, next key level I would look at would be the value area high sitting at $1.08. So that's what I'd be looking at on Matic. But simply put, it is a game of volume profiles, right? Simply put. Let's come down to the 4 hour, excuse me. Let me crack this Aztecian Cactus Moss Water really quickly. New people are like, what does he mean? Aztecian Cactus Moss Water, what does that even mean? Let's see. All right, let's see. Oh my God, chat going absolutely ballistic right now. All right, let's continue on. Taking a look. Yeah, so look to flip that POC. Be very careful around this zone. If not, if you break this level, looking up towards the value area high, again, daily money flow would be calling for more downside in the medium term. But yeah, locally, I think you come up. Locally, I think you come up, not just because of the news, but just like that 4 hour, 15-minute strategy that we used to enter this Bitcoin trade. Green dot on the daily with your 90-minute money flow crossover. Look at that move that you got right as that 90-minute money flow crossed over. Crossed over right here. That's right when you got the move to the upside. And you have your fresh green dot printing on the daily, right? So usually that money flow crossover on the lower time frame, when you're looking at the daily, you want to look at the 90-minute. When you're looking at the 4 hour, you want to look at the 15-minute. This is where you want to see the money flow crossover and expect the move to the upside. So I do think you get a little bit more local upside for Matic as long as you remain above that POC. And if you do, those are the next zones of resistance I'm looking at. And then looking at the weekly, guys, Matic, another one where the weekly money flow is not crossed over into the green just yet. So something to keep in mind if you're looking to accumulate, these altcoins in the bear market. The real bullish, again, when is the best case? When has historically been the best time to buy these assets? It's when the money flow on Market Cypher B is in the red, and on Matic it is simply still in the red. So just take that for what it's worth. All right, let's see. Shout out to Crypto Killer Whale. Said, Frankie Candles, how do we set up the new indicator and which other indicators do we use with it? Shout out to Crypto Killer Whale. Good to see you, bro. Thank you for being here. You could use it with anything you want. You can use it alone. Now, the indicator, obviously, I'm not going to go over it today just because of the crazy price action and the ETF, but we are going to make I'm going to make probably a video or break it down on a live stream coming up very soon, probably tomorrow if we do it on the live stream. But you could use it with whatever, right? So for me, I'm using that. I'm using it alongside Lux Algo, Premium, or Market Cypher, or anything else, right? If you're using an RSI, stochastics, whatever, fibs, whatever you're using, you can use, it's basically a souped up volume profile with auto fibs incorporated, as well as, I guess you would call it, you would call, I can't think of the word, but basically parameter-driven signal printing, right? And you're not taking the trade on the signal, right? If you see a sauce can pop up on the indicator, you're not taking a short or a long, right? It's a confirmation signal. So we will break it down a little bit more, but you could use it with whatever you want. Shout out to Crypto Killer Whale. All right, let's continue on here. That was Matic. Let's take a look at AVAX, and then we'll take a look at Near Protocol. So here we are. Let's see. That's that 2-day bull div probably. Yeah, 2-day bull div. Yeah, and this will exactly show you how we were looking for the bottoms of these altcoins to come in, right? So back here in September of last year, we were seeing bullish signals on the higher time frames, more specifically the 2-day, right? A lot of altcoins had these signals with lower lows on our price action, higher lows on the momentum waves, giving us a bullish divergence with money flow coming up, right? And where would the best time to have bought Matic have been? It would have been when the money flow was in the red. You would have been buying the bottom, right? And now money flow is crossed over into the green. You're starting to get the not parabolic, but the big moves to the upside. So just Just like to point this out so you guys can also use this to your advantage. But let's go back to AVAX and take a look here, right? I mean, that 2-day bull div wound up being the bottom. Literally the bottom. That's why you got to watch these lives. That's why I always say there's enough alpha on these live streams for you guys to learn, not only learn, but also potentially make money. Not just listening to me, but using what we teach to do your own analysis. But zooming in here to AVAX. Let me make sure we are on our updated chart. This is the Binance. Check Coinbase. I believe this Binance chart is what we want. I have so many dang charts that it's hard to keep track of. Okay, so yeah, it is this one. So with this being said, let's check the daily, right? Daily money flow also coming out. Green dot printing as we get that big move up. But let's pull some fibs here, right? Let's do some real TA. Let's pull the volume profile. That's an interesting profile, to be honest with you guys. That's what I was expecting. Okay, so what I would look for here, let's pull the fib from the high to the low. You have nice 786 value area high confluence. You also have a bit of confluence, not the best, but you also have POC golden pocket confluence. But at this point, again, I don't necessarily like taking trades at the middle of a range, right? So I don't know if I would necessarily be looking for a short here, but with the money flow on the 16-hour and the daily, wouldn't be the worst thing potentially to look for scalps here. But again, I would rather wait to come to the high of the range where you have the 786 confluence to potentially scalp this range, right? You could look for shorts at the highs, longs at the lows. But other than that, 4-hour money flow coming up, I'd be careful. Because with this 4-hour money flow coming up, we could see a continued trend to the upside, right, locally, which eventually could wind up running you into that fib level, right, that 786 before the rejection. So this is definitely a possibility here, right? So I would be careful of that level. And I'll mark it out with a box one more time. And that is between 45 and 42.74. Dot R Silva, I will try to I'll try to get I will try to get the dot in here, no problem. But continuing on, yeah, this is where I would look for resistance potentially, not just based off the fibs, but also based off the volume profile. And above that, what I would be looking for, guys, is if we get a move to the upside, I'll just kind of give you the if this, then that. If we come up here, get bearish signals, I'd be looking for a scalp short. Again, back down to the bottom of the volume profile, right? Not looking for massive dumps, but may look for, if we come up to that value area high 786, looking for a move back down to that 37-cent level, right? Now, with that being said, if we get a big move to the upside, right? Because if you look at the weekly, fresh money flow crossover into the green, VWAP kind of starting to roll back up. I will be looking for our next key level of resistance to be right here, which is a previous value area low or a door to higher prices, right? This is literally the door to higher prices, just like we showed on many other assets. If you get the move up, I would look to flip this level to support, and this is where you could potentially expect higher prices for AVAX. 66.28 being the POC, and then the value area high coming in right here at 89.19. So that is basically how we're handling it. That's how I would handle it, right? Locally, I'd be trading this range, but looking at more of the macro, I would look at this as our next key target and our doorway to higher prices based off the volume profiles. That range is simply pulled from the top of the bull market, right? A lot of these alts, right? Solana, if you take a look at Solana, right? This is what we were looking at, right? Previous area of consolidation. As we approached it, this is where we were saying, hey, I literally actually put out a Solana update on right here saying, hey guys, we are tapping this value area low, which would be a doorway to lower higher prices. If we break this level, we could potentially anticipate a above one and I want to say a sub 100, but a above $100 Solana, and literally the next day we started pumping through that range up to, and a couple days later we were sitting at $100, right? It's not because I like to think it's because I have a crystal ball. I like to think it's because I'm the best analyst, but let's be honest, right? It's not. It's based off the TA that we teach every single day right here for free. And there you go. That's just like we expected that here. And then again, what is the next move for Solana? Well, if Solana were able to break out of its current range and test the previous value area low of this value area, Your next doorway to higher prices for Solana is sitting at $133. You flip $133, your next stop is going to be likely $141. Flip that, next stop eventually will likely be $200, right? And it has everything to do with the volume profiles, and that's what we're looking at on AVAX as well. You are simply approaching a previous value area, and when that happens, we know what comes next. So there you go. All right, let's see. Let's see. But yeah. Let's see. Let's take a look at Near. Near is next on the list. Here we go. And here we are. Another example of the volume profiles. Literally. And again, this was back in December, but again, like just to kind of show you guys how these work. Value area low, value area high, and then your POC is actually just sitting right here, right? And I just showed this to show you guys how accurate the volume profile can be, right? So you get a move up to the value area low. This would be your doorway to higher prices. You flip the level to support. You get a move right to the POC value area high. This is how we predict things. And then when you get to your value area high, this is typically where everyone is mega bullish. This is where everyone's screaming for the next level. But this is where the Candle Mafia looks for shorts because we understand how the market moves. And this is where you want to look for a short. And if you're able to get it, you look to ride it down to the POC, which was very close here. But then you come down, bearish retest on the POC, right back down to the low. And then what happens? You come down to the value area low. You deviate. This is an oversold asset. This is where you're looking to buy some, ride it back into the fair value. That is what the value areas are. It is an area of balance, an area where sellers and buyers agree upon a price range. And then that's why you look for the trades as you deviate. We don't look to long the breakouts. We look to counter trade the breakouts. When we break out, we look for the short. When we break down, we look for the long. And you can see anyone who longed that potential breakout that they might have seen on the lower time frames, right, as you start to peak above those levels, those people would have been wrecked, right? Same thing here. Oh, my God, we're breaking down, short it to zero. And then we snap right back up and get back into the profile. This is how it works. Not all the time, right? Not 100% of the time. But as we see here, deviation from the low, we are now back in the profile. If we see the profile play out as you'd expect, your next likely stop would be between $4.35 and $4.60. These don't play out 100% of the time. Not 100% of the time. Very reliable, but not 100%, right? Nothing's 100% in trading. If the value areas were simply as easy as just longing the value area low and shorting the value area high, I would have a trading bot set up to just long and short the value area highs and value area lows, right? It's not that easy. You have to get confirmations, right? Because at some point, you're going to come back up to this high. Even if you reject it 2 more times, eventually, at some point, you may be able to break out, right? And you need to be able to identify what to look for to figure out if you're going to get the breakout or if you should be looking for the short back into the range as you'd expect, right? So it's not just that simple, but they are that accurate, right? So, I would simply be looking up right now. Green dot on the 12-hour, fresh green dot printing on the 16-hour, as well as the daily looking to print a green dot. So with that green dot, if it prints and confirms on the daily, I would expect Near to be able to, maybe you get a little bit of turbulence, maybe kind of bing bong around, but eventually I think you could potentially make it up to that level. So, but other than that, I would simply be looking at these levels as the local range that I'd be trading, right? Now, again, with the money flow kind of coming out here on the daily, you have to be careful of a lower high coming in. So simply put, I would be also looking at I would also simply be looking at this golden pocket retracement, golden pocket 786 retracement pocket-ish, like zone, right, for a potential early rejection, right? Like the money flow on the daily for these altcoins still do look like a lot of them are coming out, right? So it's kind of hard, right? You don't want to ignore that, right? Although the sentiment is very bullish, you can't really ignore that money flow coming out, right? Especially on the 16-hour as well. But really what we would want to see to kind of invalidate that is you would want to see your money flow curve back up here and then crack the high, right? So that would kind of invalidate this money flow coming out. All right, let's continue on. Somebody said that was our last altcoin right there. So let's. Someone said short term on Solana. I'll go ahead and give it to you, right? Let's see. Let's come down to the 4-hour. And let's see. Did we just draw this? Oh, no, we were looking at if We came to, so this is, trading is an if this then that statement. So this, we'll see if this trade could still be valid, right? But it may or may not be, right? But, yeah, okay, so it would still be valid. I remember what we were looking at here, right? So what I'd look for here, this was the freebie that we gave, I believe, yesterday. I think we gave this yesterday, yeah. So this is what I'd look for on Solana. Now, we didn't get what I would have hoped for, right? Which would have been we got to move. We got accepted back into the range. Where did we go as soon as we get accepted back into the range? Shout out to Creighton C. We go right to the point of control. Where's the point of control? When we pull this range, that pink line, that's the point of control, right? So what happened? We deviated outside of our volume profile. So this is an overvalued asset. You look for your bearish confirmations inside that price action. You could zoom into a lower time frame, identify inside this price action if you have bearish confirmations. If you do, you could look to get accepted back into the range. And then eventually you'd expect to come down to your value area, your POC, or your value area low. And now we did deviate one last time, but we finally came right back down to your point of control as you'd expect. And then we came back up and got reaccepted, just kind of asserted back into the range. And now we are approaching that value area high once again. So here's the thing. We didn't get the move to the value area low, but we still potentially could. I don't know if it's likely or not. I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's likely. I just don't know if it's likely, right? It's very hard to say right now because of the news, right? So if we got to push back to the downside, I would be looking for a long or at least a scalp long at the bottom of this volume profile, right? Now, granted, if you were looking at the more local profile, which I would argue is right here, you would have been looking for the long on the deviation from this local profile. But that gets into rangeception, and you can play that game all day long. So don't drive yourself crazy with that. But I would simply be looking, if we got to move down here, this is the next place I'd be willing to look for a long on Solana. So there you go. But short term, let's see, 4-hour green dot and trigger wave printing. This is really what we like to see for these trigger waves. Anchor wave, big anchor wave breaking below the oversold level, right? We cracked that oversold level of -60, and then you get a trigger wave, right? Does this look familiar? Some kind of a handle, right? And then you have some kind of a thing here. There's a trigger inside there, and then some of these things have a long barrel, some people would call them. Some of them have a hammer, right? I don't want to say it on YouTube because I don't want to get demonetized, but then you pull that trigger, and then what oftentimes happens, boom, you get a move to the upside. I don't know if anybody got that analogy, but there you go. But there you go. Trigger wave on the daily, on the 4-hour does look like you could potentially continue up, right? No guarantees we come down to the value area low, but if we did, that's where I'd be looking for a potential long position. So there you go. That's what I'm looking at. Now, on top of that 4-hour green dot and trigger wave, checking that 15-minute money flow, fresh crossover into the green, VWAP rolling over, may be able to get that next move to the upside. So there you go. Chat, I forgot who asked for it, but hopefully that helps you out. Let's see. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. He says, everyone, regarding Golden's generosity, give us a day or two to make sure we won't run into any issues with YouTube. We love you, Golden. Thank you. Golden out here trying to do Bitcoin giveaways for everybody. Golden, bro, you're a special human being, dude. Like, you are truly I don't know what we did to deserve you, bro, but I am super happy you're here. And yeah, Golden wants to give you guys a Bitcoin giveaway. So once we figure out, I guess Tony's trying to figure out if we're going to have a problem with YouTube. Sometimes YouTube's weird about that stuff. But once we figure it out, whether if Golden does want to do it, whether we do it here or in the Discord, shout out to Golden. He loves to get back to the CandleMafia. So yeah, once we figure that out, shout out to Golden, bro. You're insane, dude. Shout out to Golden, bro. The GOAT. The real GOAT. But there you guys go. And I think that's all the time we got for today's live stream. Unless you guys want to see a couple other altcoins, maybe we can run to some. Maybe we can run and take a look at a couple other altcoins. Let's see. Let's see. Yo, look at everybody spamming your Golden. They love you, bro. Look at this, bro. They're spamming your name. Unbelievable. I love this community. You guys are the best community on earth. I am so lucky to have you guys. It's insane. I was talking to Mrs. Candles about this the other day. It's like the coolest thing ever. Like, we have such good people in this community. It's insane. Just bump that music, bro. Shout out to Golden. Let's go. Absolutely. Yo, guys, there's an 89 chat rate right now. Chat is going absolutely ballistic. I'll take a quick look at ICP. Let's see. Can we play the music? Let me know. if this is too loud for you guys. Let me know if it's too ill. Give me ones if you like it, and big red stop signs if you hate it. But let's see. Let's try to play. Let's play some beats. All right. That's just like a little. It's a little beat. I can lower it a little bit as well, so it's just like a little bit in the background. I don't have a lot of songs that don't have lyrics. This one's kind of a buzzkill. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see. All right. I mean, if you guys like it, let's go. We can roll with it. I just don't have any. I have no instrumentals. Let me see. Do we have an instrumental? Oh, here we go. It's kind of a buzzkill too. All right, we'll just play this. Let me know if it's annoying, and we'll turn it off. But let's take a look at ICP. Yo, Creighton C, shout out to you, bro, for the super chat. Thank you so much. He says, I got it. Don't worry about YouTube, Golden. Just give me the Bitcoin, and I won't complain. Do it. Hashtag do it now. Hashtag give it. Hashtag Lambo time. Shout out to Creighton C. Let's jump into ICP. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the TA with the music, guys. All right, let's see. TRB, okay. Oh, yeah, 1K likes, guys. $500 in Cardano to one lucky CandleMafia member. All right, let's check it. Okay, so ICP. Okay, ICP, let's take a look, guys. Looking locally on the 2-hour time frame. Let's see. Pump those likes, baby. Looking for that value area high to get hit here, guys. Just going to do the TA. We're just going to vibe. We're going to vibe and do the TA. I'd look at this. Look at the golden emojis. Let's go. Shout out to Golden. All right. So, we are seeing a bit of resistance here at that golden pocket, but look at your money flow, guys. Check the 1 hour. 1 hour money flow crossing over into the green. 16-hour green dot printing, right? We are starting to see these market cipher strategies play out. So money flow crossing into the green, 16-hour green dot printing, that could give you a move to the upside, but you are not without resistance ahead, right? Daily green dot, likely you come up here. Likely you come up here, but again, I'd be careful with the money. Well, money flow coming back up on the 16-hour. Kind of a hard read here just because of money flow. Just because of the money flow being a little wonked out on the lower time frames. Back in the green on the 10-hour. 8-hour. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Nick DeLeon. Shout out to you, bro. Welcome to the Wise Guys. Thank you for getting that membership. I appreciate you. But, yeah, look at that trigger wave on the 8-hour, 30-minute money flow. Let's see what it's doing. Fresh crossover. Could get a continued move up here, guys. Next key levels to the upside locally for ICP are going to be value area high 786 retracement between about 1462 and 1502. So if we continue up here, I would look for a push into the 786 value area high or the 786 retracement before getting a little bit of a pull back to the downside, right? Because remember, not only will you be getting a full 786 retracement, but you'll also be deviating outside of your value area, letting you know that this is a slightly overvalued asset before potentially getting back into the fair value. But again, you have to be careful of the breakouts, right? So that confirmation at the high is key, right? If you do not see those confirmations, you can simply not take the trade, right? So those are the local levels for ICP. But as you guys know, we've been looking at some very interesting stuff in the long term for ICP, and I believe it lives on this chart right here. And here you go, right? Like very similar levels on this chart as well, right? So golden pocket getting a little bit of a retracement. You also do have some bearish divergences here, so not impossible to pull back just a little bit. But what I want to do is I actually want to get rid of all this local TA, and I actually want to take a look at more of the macro, because if you guys remember what we were looking for here, oh my God, look at we saw this last night, I believe. Look at, or 2 days ago, the respect on these previous value areas, guys. Remember, It's all a game of volume profiles, right? And now, granted, it doesn't mean you can't look at the markets in any other way, but this is the way I do it. For me, it is all a game of volume profiles, and if you watch this show, you'll understand exactly why. There's a reason why I'm constantly giddy on the stream, guys. It's because these volume profiles just light the way. These volume profiles are simply our candles, right? These are our candle lights in the darkness that they call the crypto markets. But looking at this, we simply have one value area here, which we are currently respecting. But once we lost this range, you can see we don't have much underneath us here. We had a big move up, which likely created a volume gap. If you took a look at your VPVR, I can almost guarantee you there's a gap there. There it is, right? And what does that do? That essentially means that there's no balance here. This is imbalance, right? So you have balance, balance, imbalance, right? So between these two ranges, this is balance, this is balance, this is imbalance. So you range inside the area of balance. Once you lose the range, you expect a quick move or imbalance, and wherever that next area of value is, or next value area or range or volume profile is likely where you are either going to get support on the value area low, or this would be first support. Or if you got stuck underneath it, it then becomes your doorway to lower prices, being the POC and value area low. The reason I say this is because not only did we see the support here before the bounce back into this other range, but taking away the local price action or the local TA and just looking at the macro on a higher time frame, you guys will know we were watching ICP approach this level, which is a previous value area low, where we would expect significant resistance as well as the door. If we break above it, it is the doorway to higher prices. And if you are putting bearish confirmations into a value area low, it doesn't mean that you're never going to get above it. It just means that you would expect a pullback before potentially coming back up to attack the level. And what did we get here? Specifically, we were looking at something very specific, right? And it was the daily bearish divergence with our higher highs on price action, lower highs on our momentum waves, into the key level of resistance. This is important. Into the key level of resistance. Get that bear div. It confirms. You get the pullback. Support right on the top of your previous value area. And now we may be able to come up and take a second attack at that value area low, which if flipped to support, the next likely stop for ICP is likely going to be $19.90. Now, if you get more bearish and we get some kind of mega nuke overnight and we get back below this value area high right here at 1048, we can expect a potential $9.40 or $8.74 ICP as we get accepted back into this range. But don't draw these on your chart, guys, because if you draw these on your chart, you'll know where price is going to go, and then you'll leave your boy Frankie Candles on stream by himself. I'm just kidding. Shout out to you guys. All right, let's go, baby. Probabilities of BTC passing 48K. Very, very hard to say. I'm just kind of taking random altcoins out of the chat here. And this is probably going to be the last one, if not like the second to last one. Let's see. Hey, shout out to Mikey D. I appreciate you for being here, bro. He said, loving the earlier start time as a UK mafioso. Shout out to the UK. It means I can watch the sauce on the stream live. More earlies, please. Thank you, bro. You're a legend. Well, shout out to Mikey D. I appreciate you, bro. And yeah, Tony D, can we drop a poll here? Because as you guys know, as we approach into the next bull market, some people would argue we're already there with an ETF approval. But Tony D, let's drop that poll, right? Because as you guys know, we are, shout out to Bullish Morale. I appreciate you, bro. We are looking to change up the content a little bit. Not the content, but the content schedule just a little bit. And basically, what we would be looking for is, or what we'd be looking to do is an earlier stream during the day, right? Like closer to the morning, right? And then basically switching our 2-hour 5:45 p.m. stream to 1 hour at 5:45, or maybe even earlier, maybe 1 hour at 4:45 and 1 hour in the earlier in the day, right? So you guys get sauce in the morning, sauce at night. But in order for me not to burn out or potentially die, I would want to probably shorten the night stream and just do an hour in an hour instead of 2 hours at night. So Tony D, if you could drop that poll, Mafia, please. If everybody can vote on that, you guys will genuinely help us out making this decision. All right, let's see. Okay, let's see. Early is very good for Europe for sure. Let's see. Okay. Arbitrum. We've looked at Arbitrum shorts pool. If you just scrub back a little bit, you will see it. Okay, let's continue on here. Seeing a little bit of red. Somebody said, can we see the trade? You sure can. Kind of just sitting where it was. Up about 38%. Still chilling. But we'll have to see. Let's check Bitcoin. Let's check back on Bitcoin real quick. Let's check the 4-hour. 4-hour green dot confirmed. Money flow back in the green. If we are going to see a continuation to the upside, and we are not going to see the mega nuke here, and if that trade's not going to get wrecked completely, what I would expect here is once that 15-minute green dot prints, that may be when we get the next push up. Not guaranteed. We'll see. We'll have to see. But yeah, there you go. 576 up 41%. Not too bad. I mean, I'm watching this on the side of the screen on my left monitor as we're live. It's like up 800, back down to 420, back up to 562, back up to 759, back down to 342. It's like it's all over the place. Super. It's kind of high leverage, to be honest with you. But it's a small position, right? But anyway, there we go. We'll see what happens. Wait for that green dot on the 15-minute. But let's take a look at Celestia. Tony D said, Frank, I'm in the bathroom and I cannot change polls via mobile. So here, I'll just do it really quickly for you guys. Seriously, if you guys could vote on this, it would be absolutely crazy, absolutely very helpful. Tony D, you already put the poll. How do we feel about the 4:45 start time? 47% said do it more. Tony D, does this mean that you do not listen to me when you're going to the bathroom? That's unacceptable. I'm just kidding, Tony. I'm just kidding. But yeah, do it more. Okay, so 45. Okay, so guys, please, if you have not voted on this, please vote on this because we would like to know. They would really help me out. But let's continue on. Justin, Tony D is dumping. Shout out to Mark Touch. Super bearish on Tony D right now as he's in the bathroom, guys. Shout out to Tony D. All right, let's see. Yo, you guys are funny, man. You guys are funny. I wish I had a toilet sound effect. Love the channel. Super informative. Shout out to Edward. I appreciate that, bro. Smash that like button if you like the content. And subscribe to the channel. We're here every weekday, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at least right now. Unless this poll is overwhelmingly different, we'll change it. But thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you. You guys are new to the channel. Please hit that subscribe button. Only if you find the content, helpful. But I would appreciate it. Shout out to Tony D says, thank you for the super chat. Bro, you do not have the super chat. It is easy to see, though. He said, I thought you wanted me to post a slightly different poll. The results of the current one are very much in favor of 4:45 start time. Okay, thank you, Tony. I appreciate you. Again, guys, vote on that poll. And Tony, I'm kidding about listening to me in the bathroom. It's okay. I know Tony D's Tony D probably is listening to me in the bathroom. Tony D is probably the hardest worker I know. And most competent human being I know. You could literally tell Tony D to do something that he's never done before, and he'll be better at it than people who have done it for 10 years. Like, hey, Tony, I need you to make a thumbnail. The best thumbnails you'll ever see. Right? Like, hey, Tony, I need you to make a title. He'll be like, yeah, I improved the SEO. I researched the SEO, became an expert in 5 minutes, and then made your titles better. And I'm just like, okay, it's insane. Shout out to Tony D. For real. He does so much more than you guys probably realize. Tony D is literally more than 50% of this channel. If Tony D was not with me, I would fall apart, right? It would be a nightmare. Shout out to Tony D. Show him some love. He said I was. I was on the porcelain throne with my phone. Hey, shout out to Tony D. But continuing on here, guys, let's take a quick look at TIA. As you guys watched those, if you guys watched the live stream last night, you will know I called every single coin that we looked at TIA for some reason, and it was confusing a lot of people because I was saying that it was at $100 and something. Also, guys, real quick, I'm probably gonna make a video about this, but just so you guys know, anybody using Femex as your leverage exchange, they did just, and shout out to BingX as well, they offer not only BingX, but also FemeX offer a connection to TradingView, allowing you to sign into your exchange on BingX or FemeX or any of these other ones that you might use. And you can log into your exchange and enter your trades live on your TradingView chart, so you don't have to go back and forth to your actual exchange. Very, very cool for BingX and FemeX. I believe those are the only ones that I use right now that are doing it. Also, it's pretty cool. I'm probably going to start using that a lot more now that they both do it. But yeah, it's actually really convenient. And then you can pull up the trade panel, right, where you can literally say trade, and you can enter your trades like literally right here on the actual chart. Super cool. I've made videos about it in the past. Create new order. Oh, I'm not logged in. But anyway, continuing on with TIA, here we are leaving the value. What are we looking at here? Yep, there it is. Let's see. From the low to the high. Yep, there you go. I think this is what we looked at yesterday. Let me double check that real quick. When did we get that bounce? Today. Yep. Here you go. This is how we use the volume profiles, right? You broke out of the volume profile. This is similar to something that we were looking at. I don't remember what coin it was, but one of the coins we were looking at was showing this very, very similar setup, right? Where you have confluence, right? And I'll just draw this fresh, right? Simply put, you get a move outside of your value area, right? And then once you start making a top, you pull from your low to your high. And right here, you see that we have that confluence that we saw yesterday with the golden pocket value area high, right? That's why that box was blue, letting us know that if we come back down to this level, we could potentially look for a bounce and a continuation to the upside. And what happened? We literally came down here, and not only did we come down to that blue box before getting the nice bounce, but we actually got some bullish confirmation with a nice little bullish divergence sitting right here, right at that tap of the value area high golden pocket. Nice little, come on, measure tool, work. I don't know what I do wrong with this measure tool, but it just doesn't work sometimes. For a nice 20% move to the upside. Plenty of gains to be made there, with or without leverage, to be quite honest with you. So there you go. Shout out to Dave Digital. Says Tim and T, 3 p.m., AOC 4 p.m., Tino 5 p.m., Frankie 5:45 p.m. Shout out to Dave Digital. I have a feeling Dave Digital wants us to keep that 5:45 p.m. live stream. Shout out to Dave Digital. Thank you for the super chat, bro. I appreciate you. I got to answer your Discord DM. I did see it. I will get back to it. I promise. But yeah, I could see this. Dave said, oh, he's got his own thing here. It says, Dave says, don't do the early stream. Shout out to Dave Digital. What if we just add a third stream? We do hour in the morning, hour at 5:45, and then an hour at 3. I'm just kidding, guys. We can't do that. That's a lot. That's like too much. That's like people won't watch any of it because they'll just be like, I'll just watch one of them. But yeah, let's see. I'm bullish on these likes. Frankie, 1,000 plus. Hey, shout out to you guys. We got that 1,000 like goal. You guys know what that means. Someone's getting $500 of Cardano on Friday. Let's get it. Thank you for the likes. Let's see. Shout out to Crimson's girlfriend. Says 4:45 means I miss the first hour every day. Yeah, this is a hard decision to make. It is a really, really hard decision to make. We just don't know what to do. I say do the time that works best for you. That's probably what we will wind up doing because we want to increase the amount of content. To increase the amount of content, we have to. I'm trying to learn that I can't just keep making a ton of content because people say that is not healthy. They say that I need to they break it into an hour instead of like an hour and then 2 hours. But me, I'm just like, let's just do 2 hours and an hour. Like, who cares? Last year we did learn a little bit about health, HELTH. If you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that's what we're looking at, guys. We got that nice bounce off the golden pocket. At this point, what I would be looking at is we kind of do have a little bit of a volume profile here, right? We have a nice, somewhat of a new value area. So we are deviating from the value area as we speak. And what is happening? Well, surprise, surprise, you're getting a rejection, right? And again, this is where many people get very, very bullish. But here's the thing. I don't know if I'd necessarily be looking, for a big move to the downside here because look at your money flow on not only the 30-minute, 24-minute is crossing into the green, 15-minute in the green, now crossing back into the red, but your VWAP is looking to roll back up. So I don't know if you're gonna if it's gonna be likely to come all the way back down to your low. If you do, that's the key level to be looking at for a long. There goes the voice. Just loud, just like decided to leave at that exact second. But taking a look at that 4 hour, green dot confirmed. Let's take a look at the 8 hour. 8 hour, yeah, okay, so you don't really have the confluence here. So I'd be really just looking at this local range, right? Come down, break the POC. I'd look to come down to the low. I would be willing to potentially take some scalp longs at this point. But yeah, this is kind of the next local area of support I would look at, right? So if you are going to continue up here and break out of this volume profile, I would expect that bounce or this retracement to potentially bring you down to these levels before finally breaking out. But I don't know how likely the breakout is. It's kind of hard to read. Money flow in the 30-minute coming into the green. Yeah, you do have a 1 hour bearish divergence here as you deviate from the volume profile, right? So you could consider that a bearish confirmation. So you actually may be able to get back down to the volume profile, but this is what I would be looking at. And then once you start losing this previous value area low, that opens the door to potentially actually, yeah, I would look. Yeah, I mean, if you come back down, I would look for a potential move to that 786. This might be a key level to watch as well. But I wouldn't be trading this. This is kind of choppy, to be honest. Because you got clear bearish divergence as you deviate from your volume profile here, which could indicate a move down through this profile. So yeah, this is kind of what I would think, right? Bearish confirmation, potential push down. If you get the 786, that's the key level to hold if you want to continue the uptrend or to higher prices. That's what I would look for. I'm not saying it's very likely to happen, but that's what I would like to see happen. All right, let's see. Shout out to Poor Man Joe. Say, got to take care of the health, my dude. Shout out to Poor Man Joe. Yeah, I am learning that. That is definitely a important aspect of life. Sometimes I come out of the gates aggressive. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. They say, what do they call it? Chomping at the bit? I think I get that saying wrong. I think I got roasted last time I used that saying. I don't think it's chomping at the bit. Does anybody know? It's chomping at the bit because that makes sense to me. Like a horse chomping at the bit. Like, come on, let me go. But I think that's how I've used it. And I think I've used it one time and someone's like, hey, I know it sounds weird, but just so you know, you're using that wrong. And it was super embarrassing. And I was like, but how could that be wrong? Chomping at the bit. What does chomping on the... waiting in an impatient way. No, so that guy was wrong. Whoever told me I was wrong was wrong. Chomping at the butt. Yo, shout out to Crypto Naughty, bro. Oh, God. Yeah, no. Okay, shout out to Creighton C. I'm taking your word for it, bro. I trust you more than whoever roasted me for it anyway. Shout out to Creighton C. We're using it the right way. Sometimes I chomp at the bit, right? I'm just like, let me go. And then I go, and I just don't know when to stop. And sometimes I literally need to be, like, pulled aside and be like, hey, we're worried about you. You're doing great, but we're concerned. And I'm just like, I get offended, kind of. I'm like, you don't want me to be good. You want me to stop trying hard. But it's not true. I don't want to burn out. It's definitely something I want to pay attention to. Because if we burn out or I get sick or something, I don't know. If I just like totally fry myself, there's gonna be no content. So let's see. Okay, so let's continue on. It's chomping at the bit or champing at the bit is correct. Yeah, shout out to Mikey D. All right, I trust the Mafia more than whoever roasted me. It was a long time ago, so I trust you guys. Let's take a look at Bonk really quickly, guys, because I know Bonk is getting a little ripski here. Nice little pop to the upside. And again, guys, I do want to be clear. These meme coins don't typically respect the TA that much. Sometimes they do, but they can not if they don't want to, right? So just take that for what it's worth. I believe the last time we were looking at Bonk, as we were already pushing up here, we were simply pulling the fibs, looking for a potential move into the full retracement. I don't know if you're going to get lucky enough to get this high, but if you do, I would be looking at, let's see. I would be looking at this golden pocket 786 between 2,99015 and 2,46926. Didn't want to butcher those numbers for you guys. So that is kind of really the major full Fibonacci retracement level that I'd be looking at, but I just don't know if you're going to be lucky enough to get all the way there. Right now, we have gotten this significant golden pocket retracement, which is a little bit more local. And if we come down to the 4-hour, you can see that that fib pull is actually, let me go ahead and, yeah, because like we do have somewhat of a value area right here, if that wants to print. Yo, shout out to Jay Lack, says champing or chomping. Maybe that's what they told me. They were like, did you say chomping at the bit? It's champing. Maybe that's what they said. I feel like someone who corrects you on how to use a saying would be picky over how you say that word. Shout out to Jay Lack, says champing or chomping at the bit was first used to explain the imagery of a restless horse grinding its teeth against its bit, part of the bridle. I actually know what a bridle is because I grew up around horses my whole life. When being held, shout out to my sister. My sister. I'm not calling my sister a horse. I'm not calling my sister a horse, guys. Don't clip that. I'm not calling my sister a horse. She's ridden horses her entire life, though. So I'm very familiar with horses. Let's see. Part of the bridle when being held under control. Source, Google. Shout out to JLack. Thank you so much. JLack, you are officially our fact checker of the channel. So shout out to JLack. I appreciate you. Thank you for your service, sir. Appreciate it. All right, 12 Big says, that's what I was saying. If you read above, lol, I am Google. Oh, shout out to 12 Big. I did not know 12 Big was Google. I knew there was something about you, 12 Big. I knew it was something. Okay, so, yeah, I would be very careful around these two zones. These are kind of the two zones that I would expect some kind of a retracement from. Volume profile is not working, probably because it's, I don't know why. Something with the volume potentially. But as we get that rejection from the golden pocket, could potentially shoot up for that 786. But simply put, guys, I'm just going to give you the key levels of resistance on Bonk because remember, sometimes the technicals are not respected on these meme coins. So just be careful, right? Different than something like Doge that's been around for some time, that has like has price history and has been around for a few years. This is maybe one day Bonk will be that, but right now it may not respect the TA as we expect. So those are the kind of the key levels of resistance that I would be looking at for Bonk. But money flow looks pretty good on the 4-hour here. I'm not gonna lie. This looks like the opposite of a lot of the other assets, right? Like 4-hour money flow on Bitcoin even came up a little bit, but kind of coming out here. Again, you have to be careful of the buy the rumor, sell the news events here, guys. And again, I highly recommend every single person in here. If you have not watched the video we uploaded this morning, the thumbnail literally says 100K in 2024 ? Go watch that video. You will have my full thoughts on what I think about the approval of this ETF. And we look at the bullish and the bearish case. If price absolutely rips and gives us 100K by 2024, we look at if that's possible or if it's possible or even likely, and then we also look at the case of a potential aggressive sell the news event where we look at key levels of support and some potential massive moves to the downside. We do not know what we're going to get here, but again, take this for what it's worth. I am not necessarily, I know I'm in a scalp long right now, but you have to understand this is a scalp position. I am not longing this to the moon, right? This is to grab a little bit of money and jump out, right? I am not looking for this to, give us the biggest move ever. Because when you have this, again, very bullish news at a key level of resistance, and it's starting to get the articles and all that stuff. We talk about this in the video. I actually go over some of those articles before we jump into the actual charts. And it just gives like the full, my full thoughts. It's like my full catalog of thoughts on Bitcoin right now with the current situation. Because like you might be thinking to yourself, why are you even looking at a bearish case? Shout out to Golden. Oh no. I thought that was Golden saying Bonk. Shout out to Robert. We just looked at Bonk. But you might be thinking to yourself, like, why are you even looking at a bearish case? The ETF just got approved. Obviously, we're going to 100K and beyond, right? Now, I do believe that, right? I definitely am a big Bitcoin bull. But oftentimes, when we see this stuff happen, guys, especially with the way that it's happening, and I want to be very clear, we never took this high. Right? So technically we just put in another lower high, right? Did we get it on yeah, we didn't even get it on Bybit, right? So we still never put in a high here. So if we do not break this high, guys, this could be somewhat of a bearish sign, right? And again, like there's multiple reasons. The price action, this looks like a very strong top to me. We have the bearish divergence with money flow coming out on some key time frames, as well as a swing failure pattern, letting us know that a lot of the shorts got stopped out, which would be potentially what they wanted to happen, right? Wreck all the shorts, and then actually send it to zero. Not zero. But on top of this, we're seeing mainstream attention on crypto right now, right? The halving hasn't even happened yet. We're getting mainstream attention for crypto. It's kind of a warning sign, right? Like I said, I'm even getting people who haven't talked to me in years texting me being like, hey, any good things I should buy right now? And I'm like, dude, everything already ripped. There's going to be some kind of a pullback at some point, and we have to be careful for this to potentially be the thing that gives us the move to the downside, right? Now, again, that is a possibility. Trading and just investing is an if this then that statement, right? It doesn't. I'm not saying that I'm guaranteed like I'm not opening any long-term fresh longs here, right? I am still long from 36, right? So I'm still long from down here, or 35, still long from down here, and I'm also still long from down here at 26, right? So I have my long position. So if we rip and we hit all the crazy targets, like I'm long, right? But I'm more interested in looking for potential short entries based off many, many things. So definitely check out that video. Tony D, if you could link that video, I would greatly appreciate it just so people could easily get to it. But guys, with all that being said, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in and sticking around till the end of the stream. I'm actually, let me see. How long have we been going here for? We got 1,000 likes, which means that we're spinning the wheel 10 times. So let's pull up the wheel of pain and pleasure really quickly. But not only that, guys, we are also going to give away $500 of XRP on Friday to one lucky CandleMafia member, as well as whatever giveaways we get, right? If we get 10 giveaways today, we'll add those giveaways to Friday as well. Let's see. Appreciate it, Top Dog. Shout out to Malik. I appreciate you, bro. Oh, shout out to Tyler. That's my fault. Tyler said I did not authorize the spins. I'm sorry. Tyler, don't fire me. Tyler, please don't fire me. Shout out to Tyler. We got to hang out again soon, bro. We hung out last weekend. Tyler is the man. One of the funniest people I've met. He had me cracking up. Me, Mrs. Candles, and Tony were cracking up. Tony D, also one of the funniest people I've ever met. Let's see. Yo, give Tyler Durden a raise. Shout out to Give Tyler Durden a raise. We talked about you. When me, Tony, and Mrs. Candles and Tyler were out there hanging out, we were talking about you, bro, because Tyler's like, hey, I just want to say, I don't know who give Tyler Durden a raise is. It's not me. And I think he seemed genuine, right? So shout out to you, bro. I want to figure out who you are. I know you're not Tyler. Let's see. Deepai says they're going to put the money in later, not now. That's a possibility. I mean, yeah. That's likely. To me, right, in my own personal opinion, this ETF is more bullish in the long term for me than anything, right? Like the last thing I was expecting, really, not that I'm saying this is very unlikely, but like I certainly was not expecting the ETF to just like surely we could have pumped, right? I was expecting some kind of a pump, which we kind of got, pretty lackluster. But really, I wasn't just expecting a Lambo candle, right? But what I would expect this to do is be very bullish for Bitcoin in general. You got to watch the video. Tony D, did you link it yet? I don't think he did, or he probably did, and I just didn't see. If one of the mods can just link that video so people can find it easily, just go watch that video, guys. I'm not going to explain it right now because we go through that. It's an 18-minute video. I know it's kind of long, but it's super saucy, right? And it basically gives you all my organized thoughts on what I think. Oh, yeah, I figured. Shout out to Tony D. He's like, I did. Okay, shout out to Tony D. Let me pin it really quickly. There it is. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate you, dog. Replace pin message. There you go. So it's pinned to the top of the chat. Go check out that video, guys, if you're interested in knowing more about what I'm expecting here after the approval. Hint, hint. Could go up, could go down. But let's see. Bada boom. He just labeled it Frankie's best video. I'm not going to lie, guys. If I didn't announce that we were going to upload it on last night's live stream, I was like, we're going to upload it tonight or tomorrow morning. If I didn't say that, I probably would have held it. I wouldn't have released it. Because sometimes I get to the TA And I don't realize that, that video probably could have been broken up into multiple videos, which, gives us more content and gives us more video uploads, which could be good for YouTube. But I care more about getting the good information to the Mafia rather than, sticking to YouTube's rules. Don't get me wrong. I definitely stress out about YouTube's rules. The algorithm is not a nice person. The algorithm is mean and unpredictable. We don't know what the algorithm actually wants. We just know, what it might want. Let's see. What am I, shout out to Hassam, says, what am I expecting for the rest of my trade? I will tell you in a second. Did we spin the wheel 10 times? There we go. So we got, oh God, I'm going poor this week. That's for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 giveaways out of 10. That's 80%. I mean, hey, I'm pretty good at math, guys. But yeah, that's not a bad hit rate. But there we go. That is for the mods. But guys, let me just explain this really quickly. So, yeah, for my trade here, I mean, I could just close it right now, potentially. But really, what I would be looking at here is, again, let's just pull up the chart. Right, I took this trade, number one, based off liquidations that occurred in the market, right? And let's go to the 1 minute. I'll just kind of explain to you guys. I'll walk you through exactly why I took the trade, right? And maybe I'll just walk you through the Discord posts, right? I'll just do that, right? So, because obviously this was put in the premium Discord. So, let me see. Okay, so today with the fake, this is what I updated the Discord with earlier today, right? So with the fake ETF news, just manipulating price up before we dumped on the realization of the fake news. Okay, this isn't even the trade. This is just kind of an update. So right here, this is when I was just like, hey guys, I'm scalp long, right? I'm scalp long, risky, but we took some nice liquidity below where we're obviously going to see some crazy volatility today, so be careful. I don't even recommend anybody trade on news days like this. My stop is tight, and I'm willing to get stopped out. Now, my stop is no longer there, but I am now sitting at my desk actively managing the trade, right? I want you guys to understand that, right? The reason I took the stop loss off in the first place was because of the crazy volatility. I was expecting the crazy swings, and I didn't want to get stop hunted out, right? So, but I'm sitting there watching the chart, right? I'm not going to let this thing go negative and liquidate me, right? But anyway, we got the dump we were looking for from the purple box that we posted earlier. Even though we didn't get the bearish signals I was looking at, but on top of this, we are also seeing market cipher B looking like it might want to give us a move to the upside with money flow on the 15-minute looking to cross over into the green. And the 4-hour red dot, I meant to say green dot here. Wow, that is a big mistake. With the 4-hour green dot looking to print, now the 4-hour money flow does look pretty bearish. But again, we have to be careful with this news. Very unpredictable price action here. And then we were showing the actual liquidations occurring, right? So we zoom out here. Turn on the rect bubbles. You could see the significant amount of liquidations occurring. This was the wick that I was looking to enter in on. And you can see that we came down and never revisited this low, right? So there's a reason why we look at this, right? There were multiple am I not showing the screen? Shout out to Jessica. Thank you so much, Jessica. Good thing. Wow, you caught that at the perfect time. So again, I was just reading through the posts. Yo, Tyler Durden, that is the way to get my attention. Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for the super chats, guys. I appreciate you. Would have gone through that whole explainer without the screen. So thank you. Okay, yeah, perfect. Okay, so you guys are the real goats. People call me the goat. You guys are the goats. Yo, Crimson's girlfriend goes, no screen, Frankie. Shout out to Crimson's girlfriend. Thank you for being here. But I was just reading through the Discord post, so there was really nothing to look at. But we saw the 15-minute money flow coming up, as well as the liquidations occurring here on EXO charts, right? So I saw at the value area low, which is right here, we saw an immense amount of liquidations signified or indicated by this giant rect bubble here, right? This is letting you know that a lot of longs got stopped out and liquidated or liquidated really below this low, right? Which indicates to me, amongst a few other things, that this could be a strong low, right? Or a good bottom. You know we love good bottoms here. And you can see we never revisited this low. right? So this is kind of part of that strategy where it's like, hey, a lot of longs got kicked out. Chances are we could get a reversal to the upside. Now, typically when I'm scalping these, I'm simply looking to ride the wick all the way up and like take profit here for a little tiny scalp. But because of the news coming, as we were in that trade, we got the news that it was approved, so I held it, right? And then you can see we obviously got the bigger move to the upside, and now we're kind of cooling off once again. But there you go. We had the wreck bubbles there, and then on top of that, the 15-minute money flow crossing over into the green with the 4-hour green dot was one of the other things we were looking at. So for me, until this money flow comes back into the red, especially with the VWAP coming up, because once this VWAP comes up and gives us another green dot, could drag the money flow back into a bigger green wave, resulting in much more upside, right? So until we really start to see some invalidations, in my opinion, being the money flow coming into the red, and then once we get off this stream, I'm about to go eat dinner, so I will set stop losses. So, I'm not going to take a loss while I'm not paying attention, but really, I am holding it, right? Nothing goes up in a straight line, right? So you have to expect, especially with this crazy news, like you got to expect, like there's a lot of people probably hedging short here, right? As we approach these highs, thinking what I'm thinking, right? Like we might not see this play out like we think, right? And remember this, guys, think about how easy it would be. And I don't want anyone thinking that I'm saying this is not going to happen, but think about it this way. The market likes to wreck as many people as possible. So how easy would it be to just look at your phone, right? I got the notification on my phone just before I went live that we were going to get, that the ETF was approved, right? And how easy would it be like, oh my God, Bitcoin ETF approved. This is the bullish thing everyone's waiting for. Let me put all my money in the market and just ride it up forever. Chances are that person's going to get wrecked, right? This is another, just that simple market psychology is just another reason why you don't just want to blindly hope for higher prices, right? And again, especially with this high that we made here, was clear manipulation in my opinion, right? Who knows if they actually got hacked or not? It's really hard to tell. But this looks like clear manipulation in my opinion. But doesn't mean you can't come up either. But I just don't just blindly hope we come up, right? Because it'd just be so easy to make $1 bazillion, right? And typically it's not that easy. So there you go. Hopefully, I forget who asked about it, but hopefully that clears you up on kind of why I took that trade there. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. We do this every single weekday at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Given the saucy TA, given those saucy key levels that you need to keep your eye on, if you want to make some of the green, or I guess these are technically blue now. If you want to make some of that money trading these markets, whether the price goes up or down, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button on your way out. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time. Regular time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here, Mafia. Monumental day for Bitcoin and the crypto space. Unbelievable. I can't believe we're here. Shout out to Golden. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need the brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And whoo. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Woo. Watch out, set it up, bet you I shut it down, watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner, got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare, I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move.
Shout out to Golden. Just got banned from YouTube, apparently. But Golden, shout out to you, bro. It's okay. I think you're the only person to ever get banned from YouTube for being an amazing person and a generous person. Couldn't be more proud to have you in the Candle Mafia, bro. Also, I tried to @ you in the chat and realized that you literally have like 4 alt accounts to get through this, to give more to the Candle Mafia. Legit, you are the true G. And shout out to whoever said top Golden G or whatever they said. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Golden. Bitcoin to the moon. But watch that sell the news event, guys. Seriously, be careful. But Bitcoin to the moon, at least by 2025. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide, never see me coming, I'm a landmine, yeah I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand, if you ain't know, you about to understand, yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand, yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that, yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag, yeah, and we ain't never going back now, future expedited, now we on the fast track now, they won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now, it's time to act out, here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll,